Getting stuck in your own head. Have you ever felt like your brain was a tiny room, and you were locked inside, like your thoughts just kept swirling, repeating the same worries, the same what-ifs, over and over? That's what it means to get stuck in your own head. It's when your mind becomes a trap, built by your own thinking. You're not looking at the world around you anymore. Instead, all your focus is turned inward, on a never-ending loop of thoughts and feelings. It can feel heavy, like a cloud settling only over you. Here's the thing. People have felt this way for a very long time. Thousands of years ago, even ancient thinkers noticed how much our minds could create our reality. They understood that our thoughts, not just outside events, often caused our greatest struggles. It's like you're playing a video game, but instead of moving through the world, you're stuck in the characters' thoughts, watching their anxieties play out on a screen, unable to pause or change the game. Think about this. Maybe you said something a little awkward in class, or you made a small mistake during a sports practice. Later, at home, your mind keeps replaying that moment. You see it over and over, imagining what others might have thought. You feel that blush of embarrassment again. Even though the actual moment is long past, your brain builds a whole story around that one small event, and suddenly, that story feels more real, more urgent, than what actually happened. This mental loop can be very powerful. It can make a small problem feel huge, or make you worry endlessly about things that might never happen at all. It can make you feel alone, but here's what I found. Just noticing you're stuck is the very first step out. It's like realizing you're dreaming. Your thoughts are powerful, yes, but they aren't always the truth of the world. They are just thoughts, echoes in that time. The what-if game that never ends. Have you ever found yourself caught in a loop? Your mind replaying a moment, but changing tiny details. It's like a never-ending what-if game, isn't it? This game is one of the cleverest traps our thoughts build for us. It takes us away from the now, pushing us into a made-up future or a rewritten past. We start to wonder, what if I had said something different? Or what if this bad thing happens tomorrow? And here's the problem. Those thoughts can make us feel worried, sad, or even stuck. For thousands of years, people have noticed this mental trap. Ancient thinkers, like those in Greece, understood how much our minds try to predict everything or regret what's done. They saw that living too much in what if keeps us from seeing the present moment. It's like watching a movie of a life that isn't yours. Instead of living your own think about waiting for your score on a big test. The test is over. You can't change your answers, but your mind starts playing the what if game. What if I messed up that one question? What if I failed the whole thing? What if my parents are disappointed? You're not actually failing. You're just imagining it. That imagining can feel as bad as the real thing, even if it's not real yet. It's a heavy feeling created by what might never happen. This game, the what-if game, can steal our peace. It paints pictures in our heads that are often scarier or sadder than what actually happens. So, here's the thing. While it's good to think about choices and plan, getting stuck in endless what-ifs about things we can't change or that haven't happened takes us away from the only moment we truly have. That moment is now. It asks us to gently bring our minds back, to notice what is real, right here, right now, letting the imagined worries drift away. Why you keep putting things off? Have you ever wondered why some tasks just sit there, staring at you, while you find a million other things to do? You know, that big project, the chores, or even just making a phone call you dread. It's easy to think we're simply lazy. But here's the thing. It's rarely about true laziness. More often, our minds are quietly trying to protect us from something that feels uncomfortable. Think about it. When a task seems difficult, boring, or even a little scary, our brain often sees it as a small threat to our immediate comfort. And what do we naturally do when we feel threatened, even slightly? We try to escape. So, instead of tackling the uncomfortable task, we reach for something that gives us a quick, easy feeling of relief or pleasure. Maybe it's scrolling on your phone, watching a video, or playing a game. This isn't a new struggle. Philosophers like the ancient Roman Seneca wrote about how easily we waste our time, often choosing immediate, simple comforts over what truly matters for our well-being in the long run. This powerful pull towards what feels good right now. Is a deep, bold part of being human. Imagine you have a big essay to write for school. Just thinking about starting it can feel like climbing a steep hill. Your mind might offer a tempting shortcut. Just check your social media notifications for a minute. That minute can stretch into 10, then 20. Your brain isn't trying to be difficult. It's simply trying to avoid the discomfort, the uncertainty, or the slight anxiety that comes with beginning something hard. It's like an internal alarm goes off, and you instinctively reach for the most soothing distraction. Always comparing yourself to others. Have you ever found yourself scrolling through social media, seeing others' lives, and feeling a little smaller, like everyone else has something you don't? A cooler outfit, a better grade, an easier life. Constantly measuring yourself against others is a real mental trap. Your mind builds a warped mirror, showing everyone else's highlight reels instead of your unique self. Then, it whispers all the ways you don't measure up. This can steal your joy, planting seeds of doubt. That feeling of not enough can weigh you down. It's not just a modern problem though. People have felt this way for a very long time, even before phones. Ancient thinkers, wise people from long ago, talked about how we hurt ourselves when we focus too much on what others seem to have. They knew this comparison keeps us from finding true peace. Think about it like this. Imagine you're a tree. You have your own strong roots, your own branches, your own kind of leaves. Another tree might be taller, or have brighter flowers, but that doesn't make your growth less real, or your leaves less green. You wouldn't expect an oak tree to try and be a delicate willow, would you? Each tree is perfect in its own way, doing exactly what it's meant to do. Your own life, your journey, is exactly like that, perfectly and uniquely yours. Here's the thing. When you're busy focusing on someone else's path, you're not fully present on your own journey. Your strength and beauty aren't found in trying to be like anyone else. They're found in embracing yourself, just as you are. Your worth isn't a competition, it just is. So, let your own light shine brightly, without comparing its glow to anyone else's. There's room for all of us to grow. Thinking you're not good enough. Have you ever felt, deep down, that you just weren't quite good enough? Maybe it happens when you see someone else do something great, or when you think about trying out for a team. That quiet voice whispers, "What's the point? You won't make it." That feeling is a mental trap, built by our own minds. This isn't just about failing at something, it's about feeling like you, at your core, aren't valuable or capable. This happens even before you try. Your mind tells you that you're less smart, less talented, less important than others. This thought can stop us from trying, from growing, from seeing our own strengths. Here's the thing. This isn't a new struggle. For thousands of years, people have wrestled with this feeling. Even ancient philosophers understood how our own minds can trick us. They knew believing in your own worth was a battle, a fight you often had to win daily. Think of it like this. Imagine a scientist. They have the right tools and knowledge. But if, before starting an experiment, they tell themselves, "My idea is stupid, I'll mess this up," they might not even try, or they might make mistakes because their mind expects failure. It's like when you're about to speak in class, and your mind reminds you of past mistakes, convincing you your idea isn't worth sharing. So here's what matters. Recognizing that voice. That feeling isn't the truth about you. It's just a thought, a pattern our minds sometimes fall into. Your worth isn't something you earn. It's simply there, a part of who you are. You are good enough, exactly as you are. The fear of messing up. Do you ever get that shaky feeling, that tight knot in your stomach, right before you have to do something important? Maybe it's a big presentation in front of the class, or trying out for a team, or even just sharing an idea you really care about. That feeling is often the fear of messing up. Here's the thing. It's not just a little worry. It's a huge mental trap our thoughts can build, making us afraid to even try, or to take a risk, because we might get it wrong. This isn't a new feeling. Ancient Roman thinkers, thousands of years ago, wrote about how much we suffer in our minds, imagining all the ways things could go wrong, often more than we suffer when things actually do go wrong. They understood that our fear of failure can be much worse than failure itself. It's like our brains are trying to protect us from looking bad or feeling embarrassed. But sometimes that protection stops us from growing. Think about it like this. Imagine you love to draw, and you have this incredible picture in your head. You pick up your pencil, ready to start, but then a thought whispers, What if it doesn't look like I imagined? What if I mess up the lines? What if people laugh? So, you hesitate. Maybe you draw something simple instead, or you don't draw anything at all. The actual drawing wasn't the problem. The fear of messing it up was what stopped you. It's that voice, that thought, telling you to stay safe, even if safe means never trying. But here's what's interesting. Almost every amazing thing ever created, every skill learned, every new discovery, came from someone trying, messing up, and then trying again. What if making a mistake isn't an ending, but just part of the process? And that's why it matters. Maybe the real mental trap isn't the mistake itself, but the fear of making it that keeps us stuck, unable to bravely explore what we can truly do. Worrying what everyone thinks. Have you ever held back a thought, or changed what you were about to do, because a tiny voice inside asked, "What will everyone think?" That question, that worried whisper, is a common mental trap. It's like a quiet cage we build around ourselves, piece by tiny, anxious piece. We imagine judgments, we guess at opinions, and then, often without even realizing it, we let those imagined thoughts guide our choices, sometimes pushing aside our true desires. Here's the thing, humans have wrestled with this for a very long time. Way back, thinkers like the Roman philosopher Seneca understood this struggle. They knew that trying to live for others' approval is a difficult, never-ending path. They saw that our true strength, our deep peace, comes from our own minds, not from what the crowd expects or demands. Think about picking out clothes for school. Maybe you see a cool jacket, something that truly feels like you, but then, a flicker of doubt. What if Sarah thinks it's weird? What if it's not trendy enough? So, you choose something safe, something everyone else wears. But here's the problem. That doubt isn't Sarah's actual thought. It's your thought, creating a future worry that doesn't even exist yet. It makes you hide a part of yourself. And that's why it matters. When we constantly worry about others' thoughts, we lose touch with our own quiet wisdom. We stop listening to the voice that knows what we truly love, what truly feels right. Imagine the energy saved, the freedom gained, if we could simply trust ourselves more. It's about finding courage inside, letting your own unique light shine, without needing a single permission slip from anyone else, because what truly matters is how you feel. Making small things huge problems. Think about a small moment, one tiny thing. Did it ever grow so big in your mind it felt like a disaster? This is a common mental trap. Our thoughts can take something small, a dropped pencil, a slightly late bus, a messy desk, and blow it up into something huge. It becomes this enormous, scary problem, even though, in reality, it's often quite minor. We let our minds make a mountain out of a molehill. It's when a small hiccup in your day feels like the end of the world, filling your head with worry. Long ago, wise people like the Stoics knew about this. They taught us that it's not always what happens to us that causes trouble, but how we think about what happens. They understood that our minds often add the extra worry, not the event itself. It's like how a tiny spark, if not managed, can become a raging fire if we keep feeding it fuel with our thoughts and fears. Imagine you're walking to school, and you trip. No one saw. You're fine, just a little embarrassed. But then your mind starts. Everyone probably saw. I'm so clumsy. Now my whole day is ruined. That little trip becomes a giant cloud over your morning, all because of the thoughts you added to it. Or maybe you get a grade that's not perfect on one quiz. Instead of seeing it as just one quiz, your mind might jump to, "I'm failing everything," or "I'll never get into a good college." This single quiz, which is just one piece of your learning, suddenly feels like your whole future is at stake. Here's the thing. Understanding this trap gives us quiet power. We can learn to notice when our thoughts start to inflate a small moment. We can pause and ask ourselves, always blaming someone else. Have you ever caught yourself, when something difficult happens, wishing it was someone else's fault? Maybe a project didn't go well, or you felt hurt by something. It's a natural, human feeling. This quick urge to point a finger somewhere else. But here's the thing. This habit, this quick blaming, can become a silent mental trap. One built right by our own thoughts. It's a tricky comfort, this urge to find fault elsewhere. Our minds, sometimes build this escape hatch because it feels safer than facing our own mistakes, or even just owning our part in a tough situation. It's like a shield we raise, hoping to deflect any sting of guilt or shame. We want to avoid that uncomfortable feeling, that deep ache that comes with thinking, maybe I messed up. But here's the problem. That shield, while it protects us in the short run, also locks us inside. For centuries, across different cultures, wise teachers have reminded us about the quiet power in looking inward first. They taught that true strength comes from understanding our own choices, even the small ones. Think about a time you had a misunderstanding with a friend. Maybe words were said, or a plan went wrong. It's so easy to think, well, if the hadn't done X, then Y wouldn't have happened. You might feel a rush of relief, a moment of it's not me. But that relief is a mirage. When we always look outward, pointing fingers, we give away our own power. We become a passenger in our own life, waiting for others to change, waiting for circumstances to shift. But when we bravely look inward, even for just a small piece of the puzzle, a different kind of strength wakes up. We realize we have a say, a choice, in how we react and move forward. And that's why it matters. Because true freedom doesn't come from a world believing your feelings are facts. Have you ever felt something so strongly, you just knew it had to be true? That gut feeling, that rush of anger, or that deep sadness. Sometimes, our emotions can feel like solid, undeniable facts. But here's the thing, feelings are powerful, but they aren't always facts. Think about thinkers from a long time ago. Philosophers like the Stoics, ancient Greek and Roman thinkers, talked a lot about this. They believed that our feelings, especially the tough ones, often come from how we think about things, not from the things themselves. They said feelings are like waves in the ocean. They can be huge and feel overwhelming, but the ocean itself, the true reality, is much deeper and calmer beneath the surface. Our thoughts are what create those waves on top. Imagine you're walking into a new class at school. You feel super nervous, and your stomach is doing flips. You might feel like everyone is staring, or that you're definitely going to mess up. In that moment, your nervousness feels like a fact. I'm going to fail. But is that truly a fact? Or is it just a feeling, a strong message from your mind based on fear? The fact is, you're walking into a new class. The feeling is nervousness. They are two different things. Another way to think about it is like a mirage in the desert. You see water. You feel thirsty, and your mind might tell you it's real, but it's just an illusion, a trick of light and heat, not actual water. So, when a feeling hits you hard, pause, just notice it. Ask yourself, is this a fact, or is it just a feeling passing through? Realizing this doesn't make the feeling go away. Reading minds when you can't. Have you ever wished you could just truly know what's going on inside someone else's head? To skip the words, the guessing, and simply understand what they feel. It's a powerful wish, isn't it? Here's the thing, we can't actually read minds, and that's a strange, sometimes lonely, truth. We look at a friend, a teacher, a family member, we see their face, hear their voice, but their deep thoughts, their true feelings, that remains a mystery. Each person carries a hidden world inside them, a unique universe only they can truly explore. For thousands of years, thinkers wondered about this. Ancient Greek philosophers asked, how do we really know another person? They realized our experiences shape us in ways no one else can fully grasp. My blue might be different from your blue, even with the same word. We must try to imagine another's view. Think about this. You're in class, and someone seems quiet, maybe grumpy. Your mind might jump to conclusions. Are they mad at me? But maybe they didn't get enough sleep, or they're worried about a test. You can't see that worry. You only see the quietness. You have to ask, or try to understand, to get close to their truth. This is the beauty, and the challenge, of being human. Empathy becomes our superpower. It means listening, really listening, and asking questions with a kind heart. Except that sometimes, we won't fully know, and that's okay. There's a quiet strength in this. We can't see inside another's mind, but we can always choose to offer care and attention. We build bridges across those secret, inner worlds. predicting bad stuff before it happens. Do you ever find your mind jumping ahead, imagining all the worst things that could happen? It's like a movie playing inside your head, showing failure, embarrassment, or disappointment, even when nothing bad has happened yet. This is a powerful mental trap, where our thoughts build a future full of problems that only exist in our imagination. We start to live in those imagined futures, carrying their weight. Don't think about it. Humans have always looked to the future, needing to be ready for danger. It helped us survive. But sometimes, this helpful instinct goes too far. Instead of just preparing, we get stuck worrying about everything that could possibly go wrong. It's like we're trying to solve problems that aren't real, just ones our minds created. Here's an example. Imagine you have a big project next month. Before you even start, your mind might race. You might imagine getting a terrible grade, feeling like you let everyone down, or even messing up the whole presentation. You haven't written a single word, but already, you're feeling the stress of a bad outcome. You feel it now, even though that future is just a story. But here's the thing about those imagined bad futures. Most of them never actually happen. Our minds are good at making up dramatic stories. When we spend our energy predicting and fearing these imaginary disasters, we miss out on the present moment. We lose the chance to feel calm, to be creative, or just to enjoy the present. So, what can we do? We can gently remind ourselves that these are just thoughts, not facts. We can choose to bring our minds back to what is real, right now. It takes practice, but it's a kind way to free ourselves from futures that aren't here, letting peace fill the space where worry once lived. Only seeing the bad side of things. Have you ever felt like your mind has a kind of spotlight, and it just seems to love shining on everything that goes wrong? It's a strange, heavy feeling, isn't it? Like you could have had a really good day, full of small joys, but one tricky moment, one hurtful word, somehow takes over everything. It's all you can replay. This way of seeing, where shadows seem bigger than light, is a mental trap many of us walk into. We focus so much on things that sting or disappoint, that the quiet good, the moments of peace or connection, just fade away. This isn't a new struggle. Ancient thinkers noticed this pattern. They understood that our minds, in a way, are built to spot trouble. Think about our ancestors, noticing a rustle in the bushes, a shift in the weather. That was how they stayed safe. That old wiring still hums inside us, making negativity feel louder, more urgent, more real asterisk. It's a powerful pull. But here's the thing. We have to consciously work to see the whole picture, not just the parts that scare or sadden us. Imagine you're given a beautiful, intricate drawing. Most of it is stunning, full of vibrant colors and clever details. But right in one corner, there's a tiny smudge, barely noticeable. If your eyes only lock onto that smudge, if that's all you can see, the entire beauty of the drawing gets lost. The smudge becomes the whole story. That's what it's like when we only see the bad side of things in our own lives. We let one small flaw, one mistake, one disappointment, erase all the good, all the effort, all the kindness that's still there. And here's what I truly believe. Gently guiding that spotlight is one of the most important things we can learn to do. It's not about pretending problems don't exist. It's about remembering the whole truth of a moment, a day, or even our own selves. It means understanding that why you say I should have ... Have you ever felt that quiet, heavy whisper in your mind, saying, I should have ... It's a feeling many of us know well. It's when you look back at something that happened and wish you had done it differently. This isn't just a simple thought. It's a mental trap where our minds judge past choices using wisdom we only have. Your brain builds a kind of imaginary time machine. It goes back, replaying a moment with all the new information you've gained. You know the outcome now, so it seems obvious what you should have done. It's like watching a movie and knowing the ending, then saying the characters should have acted differently, but they didn't have your future knowledge at the time. People have thought about this feeling for a very long time. Ancient thinkers, centuries ago, wondered why we torture ourselves with past decisions. They saw how regret could hold people stuck. Wishing for a different past doesn't change what happened, but it can change how we feel now. Here's an example. Imagine a big project was due, and you played video games instead. When you get a low grade, your mind screams, I should have worked on it. That feeling isn't wrong. It's telling you something important about priorities, about what matters to you. It's a signal. But here's the thing. Staying stuck on I should have won't change the past. This feeling asks us to be kind to our past selves. They made the best choice with the information they had then. Use that whisper not as a whip, but as a guide. It shows you what you value and helps you make a wiser choice next time. Let it be a gentle teacher. Then, allow yourself to move on, carrying the lesson, not the burden. Being mean to yourself in your head. Have you ever messed up on a test or dropped the ball during a game and then felt this awful voice inside your head start yelling at you? You're so dumb, it might say. You always mess things up. Or maybe, why can't you just be better? Here's the thing. That voice, that constant put down, is a mental trap we often build ourselves. It's like having a bully living right inside your own mind, except you are both the bully and the one getting bullied. This isn't just about feeling sad. It's about a pattern of thought where we use harsh words against ourselves, often believing them to be true. We become our own worst critic, but without any kindness or understanding. Long ago, wise thinkers like the Stoics understood the immense power our minds hold. They believed suffering often comes not from events themselves, but from what we tell ourselves about those events. They saw that our inner voice, if not guided, could become a harsh judge. It's like they warned, be aware of that internal bully. You can choose how you respond. Think of it like this. Imagine you're learning to ride a skateboard. You fall down. A good coach would say, all right, stand up, try again, you got this. But if your inner voice is mean, it screams, you're terrible, you'll never learn, just quit. This doesn't help you learn. It just makes you feel worse and might even make you give up. Your brain tries to protect you from failure this way, making you too afraid to try, but it actually just hurts your spirit. So, what if we could learn to gently question that mean voice? What if we could offer ourselves the same kindness we'd give a friend? It's not about ignoring mistakes, but about learning from them without tearing ourselves down. Our thoughts hold incredible power, and choosing to be kind to ourselves in our heads is one of the most important lessons we can learn. It helps us grow instead of getting stuck in a cycle of self-criticism. The trap of all or nothing thinking. Have you ever felt like if something wasn't absolutely perfect, it was a total disaster? Like getting a B on a test means you failed the whole subject. Or if you can't run a full mile, there's no point in running at all. This feeling, this heavy weight, is all or nothing thinking. It's one of the mind's sneaky traps. Here's the thing. Our brains sometimes like to simplify things. They want clear categories, good or bad, right or wrong, success or failure. But life, truly, is rarely that simple. Think about ancient thinkers long ago. Even then, people talked about finding balance, about the golden mean, a middle path between extremes. They knew seeing only black or white could be dangerous, making us miss all the vibrant colors in between. Imagine you're trying to learn a new skill, like playing guitar. If you expect to play perfectly after just a few lessons, and then you mess up a chord, your all or nothing brain might scream, you're terrible, just quit. But what if you saw that mistake not as a failure, but as a step, a tiny moment on a much longer journey? What if you understood that even small progress is still progress? This trap can make us feel hopeless or give up too easily. It tricks us into believing that if we're not 100% successful, we are 100% failures. But the truth is, most of life happens in the messy, beautiful middle. It's in the learning, the trying, the almost there moments. There's so much wisdom in accepting that life is often a mix of things, a spectrum, not just two opposite points. And understanding this can make your world feel kinder, more open. thinking you know everything. Have you ever felt like you totally understood something, like you had all the answers? It's a comforting feeling, isn't it, to think you've figured it all out, but sometimes that feeling can become a trap. When we believe we know everything, we stop listening. Our minds close off to new ideas, new people, new ways of seeing the world. It's like putting on blinders. We miss so much beauty and truth that's right there, waiting. Think about ancient thinkers. Someone wise named Socrates once said that true wisdom is knowing how little you actually know. He knew that the more you learn, the more you see how much more there is to learn. It's not about having all the answers, it's about being curious, always. Imagine you're learning to play a new video game or a new sport. At first, you might think you know the best strategy, you're doing great, but then, someone shows you a new move, or a different way to play, and suddenly, your old strategy feels limited. If you kept telling yourself, I know everything about this game, you'd never get better. You'd miss out on new joy. This trap of thinking we know everything keeps us small. It stops us from growing. But when we choose to stay open, to admit that maybe, just maybe, there's always more to learn, a whole world opens up. It's okay not to have all the answers. That's actually where the real adventure begins. It's in the questions, in the wondering, that we truly find our way. And that's why it matters. Getting lost in old mistakes. Have you ever made a mistake? Maybe said something you shouldn't have, or messed up on a test. And then, later, your mind keeps playing it over and over. It's like a broken record stuck on the same sad song. Right. That feeling, that sticky loop in your head, is a real mental trap. It's what we call getting lost in old mistakes. Here's the thing. Our thoughts can sometimes hold us captive in the past. We might finish a soccer game, but our mind keeps replaying that one missed shot, wondering what if. We might leave an argument, but we spend hours thinking about what we should have said differently. This isn't just about learning from errors. It's about dwelling on them until they feel heavy, like invisible chains, holding us back from the present. Think about it this way. Wise people, even thousands of years ago, understood this struggle deeply. Philosophers like the Stoics, for instance, talked a lot about focusing on the present. They taught that the past is gone, fixed, and we can't change it. All we can do is learn from it, and then choose our actions. Now. Holding on to regret for too long stops us from living fully in the moment. It's like trying to drive forward while constantly looking in the rearview mirror. You'll miss all the beauty and possibility right in front of you. This isn't about ignoring what happened. It's about how we choose to handle it. When you accidentally drop your phone and it cracks, you might feel upset, but replaying the exact moment you fumbled it 100 times won't magically fix the screen. What truly matters is what you decide to do next. Get it repaired, or just accept it, and bravely move on. So, here's a thought for you. It's completely okay to feel regret, to understand where you went wrong, and to learn from it. Always needing everyone to like you. Have you ever felt that quiet pull? The one that makes you want to be liked by everyone, all the time. It's a strange feeling, isn't it? Like you're constantly checking to see if your reflection in other people's eyes is bright enough, good enough. This need, this strong desire for universal approval, can become a kind of invisible cage. You start shaping yourself, your words, even your true thoughts, just to fit what you imagine others want to hear or see. And here's the thing, when you do that, you slowly lose a bit of who you really are. For a long time, humans have needed to belong. In ancient times, being part of a tribe meant survival. Being cast out meant danger. So, our brains learned to pay close attention to social cues, to try and fit in. This deep old wiring still hums inside us. But today, the world is different. We don't face saber-toothed tigers if one person doesn't approve of our new shoes. Still, that old fear can trick us, making us chase after every like and every yes. Think of it like a chameleon. A chameleon changes its skin color to match its surrounding. It does this to hide, to survive. But what if it started changing its color for every single person it met? It would be a swirling mess of colors, never truly settling, never truly showing its own unique pattern. We can become like that chameleon, constantly shifting our true colors, our genuine self, hoping to please everyone. You might agree with one friend on one thing, and then instantly agree with another friend on the opposite, just so both like you. That's a lot of work, and it leaves you feeling empty. But here's what I found. True connection, the kind that really matters, comes when you show up as your honest self. Not everyone will like you, and that it's not fair feeling. Have you ever felt that tight, twisting knot deep in your stomach? That burning sense of injustice when something just doesn't sit right. It's that moment your heart aches, and you silently whisper, "It's not fair." This feeling is more than disappointment. It's a powerful mental trap. We carry a hidden belief that life and events, should follow a predictable rule of fairness. Like a game where everyone gets an equal chance. When that rule seems broken, and you lose out, despite your efforts, it can feel like a deep cut to your spirit. This idea of fairness is a very human invention, a way we try to make sense of a world that often feels chaotic. Ancient thinkers, like the Greek Stoics, understood this trap. They knew that while we deeply desire justice, the universe doesn't operate on our human idea of fair. Much of our suffering comes not from what happens, but from our expectations of how things should happen. It's like expecting a wild storm to care about your picnic. Think about a group project at school. You might work incredibly hard, research everything, and make sure your part is perfect. But then, a group member barely contributes, maybe even slacks off, and still gets the same good grade as you. That sharp stab of "it's not fair" hits you. Your effort feels ignored. Your sense of justice feels broken. But here's the thing. The universe doesn't have a fairness meter. The sun shines on everyone, good or bad. Trees grow where they can, not where they deserve to. This doesn't mean taking everything too personally. Have you ever felt a pang in your stomach because someone didn't look at you a certain way? Or maybe a comment from a friend stung more than it should have. This feeling, this knot inside, is often what happens when we take things too personally. It's when we believe every little action or word from someone else is directly about us, meant to hurt us, or that we are failing. For thousands of years, wise thinkers have talked about this. They noticed our peace depends not on what happens, but on how we think about it. They understood that often, other people's words or moods are more about than about you. It's like they're carrying their own invisible backpack of thoughts and feelings. Sometimes, a little piece of that backpack falls out near you. Imagine you're walking down the hall, and a friend walks past without saying hello. Your first thought might be, "They're mad at me," or "Did I do something wrong?" But here's the thing. Maybe your friend just had a bad morning. Maybe they were totally lost in thought about a test. Maybe they didn't even you. Their action wasn't a secret message about you. It was just a moment in their own day. It's like watching clouds. They move in their own sky, sometimes dark, sometimes bright, but they aren't trying to ruin your picnic. Learning to see this difference can be like finding a quiet space inside yourself. It lets you step back, breathe, and realize that not everything thrown your way needs to stick. You can choose to observe it, understand it, and then let it go, keeping your heart lighter and more free. It's about protecting your inner calm, no matter what storms others might carry. Labeling yourself and others. Have you ever noticed how fast we label things? Not just "that's a chair," but names that stick to people, even to ourselves. We say, "They're the quiet one," or "I'm not good at math." These are like tiny tags we attach. Here's the thing. These labels, whether on others or ourselves, can become mental traps. They come from our thoughts, from our need to quickly sort the world. When we label someone as the athlete or the artist, we stop seeing their changing parts. We put them in a small box. Sometimes, we put ourselves in one. People have wondered about this for centuries. Wise thinkers knew it was easy to judge someone by one action, but life is like a river, always flowing, always new. To stick one label on a person is like saying the whole river is just a single ripple. It misses the bigger truth. Think of a computer file. You name it, homework or photos. That helps. But if you decided a photos file could only ever hold photos, even if you put school projects inside, you'd be stuck by that first label. You'd miss what the file truly became. People are far more than any label. We grow, we change. So, what if we tried to see people, and ourselves, without those sticky tags? What if we knew we are all much bigger, much more able to change than any single word can capture? This lets us breathe easier. It helps us be kinder, not just to others, but to the amazing, developing person you truly are. We don't have to fit into a tiny box our thoughts made. The comfort zone that holds you back. Have you ever felt really safe and cozy in a familiar spot? Maybe it's your favorite chair, or just doing the same things every day. It feels good, right? That feeling of safety is what we call a comfort zone. It's a place where everything is known. No surprises, no risks. Our thoughts build these invisible walls around us. Walls made of habits, fears, and things we'd rather not try. We stay inside because it feels secure, even if deep down, we know there's more out there. But here's the problem. Sometimes, the very place that feels safest holds us back from growing. It becomes a mental trap, not a sanctuary. Ancient thinkers, long ago, understood something important about human nature. They knew real strength didn't come from staying hidden. It came from facing the unknown. Think of a tiny seed that needs to break open its shell to become a mighty tree. We, too, have to push past our comfortable limits to find out what we can be. They believed growth wasn't just about getting bigger, but about becoming more of who you are truly meant to be. Imagine you really love playing video games, but you've always picked the same character, used the same moves. You win easy. But what if you tried a new, harder character, or played a completely different kind of game? At first, it might feel clumsy, even a little scary, because you might lose. But when you finally figure out those new moves, or mastered the new game, a whole new world opens up. You learn something about yourself you never knew, that you're more adaptable, more skilled than you thought. This can help you see a bigger picture. So, the comfort zone isn't bad in itself. It's where we rest. But we can't live there forever if we want to truly grow. Sometimes, the quiet bravery is found in taking just one small step outside, even if it feels a little wobbly. Playing the blame game. Have you ever noticed how quickly our minds can point a finger when something goes wrong? Maybe you missed a deadline, or maybe a project didn't turn out like you hoped. Here's the thing. Instead of thinking, what could I have done differently? Our thoughts often jump to, it's because of this person, or it's because of that situation. This is what we call playing the blame game. It's simply finding someone or something else to hold responsible for a problem, rather than looking at our own part. Our brains sometimes do this to protect us. It can feel easier, in the short run, to shift the fault away from ourselves. It keeps us from feeling bad or uncomfortable. But here's the problem. It's a trap our own thoughts build for us. This isn't a new idea. Even wise thinkers from long ago noticed this human habit. Ancient stories, like Greek myths, often show characters blaming fate or angry gods when things went wrong in their lives. They struggled with taking responsibility, just like we sometimes do. It's almost a natural first reaction for people. Think about it like this. Imagine you're trying a new recipe, and it totally flops. Your first thought might be, the recipe was bad, or my oven is old. But what if you gently consider, did I measure correctly? Did I follow all the steps? This isn't about making yourself feel bad. It's about being curious. This can help you learn and grow. If you always blame the recipe, you'll never improve your cooking skills. So, here's what happens when we stay stuck in the blame game. We miss out on chances to learn. We give away our power to make things better. It keeps us from understanding what really happened and how we can do things differently next time. Real growth begins when we calmly look at our own part, not to judge, but to understand. It's a quiet courage to see things clearly, even if it's a bit uncomfortable at first. Ignoring the good stuff that happens. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to remember the bad stuff that happens in a day? It's like our brains have a special spotlight, and sometimes that light shines brightest on what went wrong or what bothered us. Even when lots of good things are happening, we might just not see them. We might skip right over the small kindnesses, the quiet moments, the little wins. Our minds just tend to focus more on the negative things than the positive ones. Think about people long, long ago. For them, paying attention to danger was super important for survival. A rustle in the bushes meant either food or danger. So, our brains got really good at spotting problems. Some old thinkers, like the Stoics in ancient Greece, knew this. They talked about how important it was to practice gratitude. They meant really looking for the good things on purpose. Our natural thoughts often pull us towards worries, so they knew we had to work a little to find the brighter side. Here's the thing. Imagine you get back a test. You studied hard, and you got a B, but there's one question you got wrong, and all you can think about is that one wrong answer, not the good grade you earned. Or maybe your favorite team won, but you only remember the one bad call the referee made. It's like eating a really good meal but only thinking about one slightly burnt piece of toast. The whole meal was great, but that one piece takes over your thoughts. So, here's what I found. It's not that we're bad for doing this. It's just how our minds sometimes work. But we can learn to shift that spotlight. We can choose to notice the friend who's the rush to be perfect. Have you ever looked at something you've made, a drawing, a story, a score on a test, and felt it wasn't quite enough? That little voice whispers, "It's not perfect." Why do we chase this idea of flawless perfection so fiercely? It's a mental trap, built by our own thoughts, where good enough never truly feels good enough. We start believing everything we do must be without a single flaw, and the pressure can feel heavy, sometimes even paralyzing. Here's the thing. Human history shows us that great strides were often made not by perfection, but by daring to try, to fail, and to try again. Think of the ancient Greek thinkers. Centuries ago, they spoke about something called arete, which meant excellence or virtue. It was about striving to be your best self, to improve, to reach your potential over time. But this was different from today's impossible chase for absolute flawlessness. They understood that growth meant mistakes were part of the process. It meant learning. They didn't expect a perfect first try, but valued the journey of effort. Imagine you're building a Lego castle. Your first few blocks might be a little wobbly, or you might realize a tower should go in a different spot. You don't scrap the whole thing because it's not perfect from the very first brick. Instead, you adjust, you rebuild, you learn from what didn't work. The finished castle, even with its small, unique imperfections, tells the story of its making. It's uniquely yours, filled with the marks of your effort. This constant pressure to be perfect can make us afraid to even start. We might not try out for the play or share our artwork because we fear it won't be flawless. But here's what I found. Life isn't about being a perfectly smooth, unchipped stone, untouched by the world. It's about being a river stone, shaped by the journey, worn smooth by the currents, beautiful because of its story, not in spite of it. Maybe the real beauty isn't why you can't just let go. Have you ever had a thought or a heavy feeling that just clung to you, like a burr on your favorite shirt, impossible to shake off completely, no matter how hard you tried? It's a common human puzzle, this struggle to simply let go. We often hear that phrase, just let it go. But here's the thing, it's not as easy as it sounds. Our minds aren't designed to simply hit an erase button. For a very long time, people have thought about this. Ancient thinkers, watching how humans behaved, saw that our brains are natural storytellers and problems. When something upsetting happens, or we feel confused, our minds don't just forget. Instead, they try to understand it, to make sense of the pain or the puzzle. It's like your brain is a detective, constantly replaying the scene, looking for clues, trying to figure out what went wrong. Even if there's no solution, it keeps looking. Think about a time you felt embarrassed. Maybe you tripped in the hallway or said something silly in class. Even weeks later, your mind might suddenly flash back to that moment. You cringe, You wish you could erase it, but your brain holds on to it, almost like it's saying, remember this feeling, avoid it, learn from it. This isn't a flaw, it's a built-in safety system. It's designed to keep replaying information until it feels certain you've learned a lesson, or found closure, even if that never truly comes. So, when we struggle to let go, it's not because we are weak or bad at listening, it's because our minds are working exactly as they were built to, always seeking understanding, always trying to keep us safe. And sometimes, that very effort to protect us is what keeps us caught. Recognizing this natural, deep human tendency can be the first step to finding a gentler way through. Believing everything will go wrong. Have you ever felt that heavy knot in your stomach, right before something important happens? That shaky feeling, deep down, that no matter what, things are just going to mess up. This is a mental trap. It's about believing everything will go wrong. It's like your mind has already written the ending, and it's always a sad one, before the story even begins. Your brain often decides the worst possible outcome, often without any real proof. Humans have felt this way for a long time. Ancient thinkers, like the Stoics, knew our thoughts make us suffer more than events. They saw how worrying often made people more unhappy than real problems, even if they never happened. It's about seeing the power we give to fears that haven't come true. Think about a school project, a big presentation. You've worked hard, but the night before, your mind tells you all the ways it could fail. What if I forget my words? What if the computer glitches? These thoughts can tie you up in knots, making it harder to even begin, let alone do your best. It's like building a wall of what-ifs between you and doing well. This is your mind making things harder, even before they start. So, here's the thing, this trap makes us suffer twice. First in our minds, with all that stress, then maybe again if the bad thing actually happens. But often, the real event isn't as bad as our mind thought, or it doesn't happen at all. Noticing this can help you. It's about seeing when your thoughts run wild with fear. Gently ask if those fears are truly helpful. The biggest challenge isn't always what's outside us, but what's going on inside our own heads. The urgency trap. Everything's a crisis. Have you ever felt like everything needs to happen right now? Like every message, every chore, every school assignment is an absolute emergency. This feeling, where our minds trick us into believing every little thing is a massive crisis, is what we call the urgency trap. It's a powerful mental game our thoughts play, making us rush and stress, even when there's no real danger. For a long time, back when humans lived in caves, real urgency meant survival. A sudden roar from a lion, a looming storm. Those were true crises. Our bodies learned to react instantly, to run or fight. That was a good thing. But today, our brains often use that same everything's a crisis alarm for things that really aren't. A notification on your phone, a messy room, a project due next week. Suddenly, they all feel like that roaring lion. Here's the thing. Imagine you're playing a video game. Sometimes there's a huge boss battle that genuinely needs all your focus right away. But then there are small side quests or things you can do later. If you treat every small side quest like it's the final boss, you'll burn out fast. You'll feel overwhelmed and constantly on edge. This trap makes us believe that if we don't act immediately, something terrible will happen. But most of the time, that's just our thoughts making a mountain out of a molehill. It steals our peace. The quiet wisdom here is simple. Not everything that shouts for your attention truly deserves your immediate panic. We can choose to pause, to breathe, and to remember that most things can wait. And that choice brings a calm that urgent rushing never can. It lets us decide what truly matters, instead of letting everything else decide for us. Always needing to be right. Have you ever felt that tight, squirmy feeling deep inside when someone suggests you might be wrong about something? It's almost like a tiny alarm bell ringing in your mind. This isn't just about winning an argument. It's a deeper trap our thoughts can build for us. It's the idea that our personal worth, our very identity, is somehow tied to being correct. When our ideas are challenged, it feels like we are being challenged. Our thoughts whisper, if you're wrong about this, what else are you wrong about? Even ancient thinkers like Socrates, thousands of years ago, talked about the importance of questioning what we believe. He showed how often people thought they knew something, but when asked simple questions, they couldn't explain why they believed it. They just held on to their rightness. It tells us that this struggle isn't new. It's a very human thing. Think about a time when you were absolutely sure a friend took your pencil, but then you found it in your own bag. For that brief moment, even after finding it, there's a small part of you that still wants to believe your friend took it. It's hard to let go of our first thought, our first conclusion. It feels safer to stick to what we already know, even if new facts show us something else. This happens with bigger ideas too, like when we learn new science that changes old beliefs. But here's the thing. True strength isn't always about being right. It's about the brave and quiet act of being open to new understanding. It's about letting go of that need to protect your first thought. When we can admit we might be wrong, or simply say, I don't know, we actually make space for so much more learning, more growth. It lets us connect better with others, too, because we're not just trying to win, we're trying to understand. It's a quiet freedom, really, to not always have to carry the weight of being absolutely correct. The if only loop. Have you ever caught your mind playing a silent movie, a scene from your own life, but with a different ending? You know, the one where you whisper to yourself, if only I had said that, or if only I hadn't done that. This quiet feeling, this constant replay in our heads, is what we call the if only loop. It's a tricky mental trap. Our thoughts get stuck looking backward. We dwell on past choices, wishing we could change them. We imagine how things might have turned out differently. It's like being a detective of your own past, endlessly reviewing the same evidence. That moment is over. Many wise thinkers, even long ago, saw this pattern. They understood that wishing for a different yesterday keeps us from truly living today. They taught that while we learn important lessons from what happened, we can't actually undo it. It's a deeply human struggle. Here's a familiar feeling. Maybe you worked hard on a group project, but your team didn't get the grade you hoped for. Afterward, you might replay conversations, thinking, if only I had spoken up more, or if only I had checked their work one last time. This thought can echo in your mind, making your stomach tighten. It feels heavy, almost like a weight on your chest. It doesn't change the grade, it just traps your feelings in a moment that has already passed. This loop pulls your energy from the present. But here's the important thing. While it's totally natural to feel regret, staying stuck in that loop doesn't help us move forward. It's a bit like driving while only looking in the rearview mirror. You need to glance back sometimes to understand the road you've traveled, but you must look ahead to where you're going. Getting stuck in the past. Have you ever felt caught in a moment that's already gone? It's not just remembering good or bad things. It's when your mind keeps living there, like a silent movie on a loop. You might replay a difficult argument, wondering what you should have said. Or maybe you cling to a perfect summer day, wishing for that exact happiness again. This feeling, this mental trap, is getting stuck in the past. Here's the thing. Our memories are treasures. They teach us and comfort us, but sometimes they can become heavy chains. Imagine early philosophers from long ago. They understood that time moves in only one direction, forward. Yesterday was fixed, unchangeable. While they didn't call it a mental trap, they saw how dwelling on what's done could keep someone from truly living today. It's like staring so hard at the rearview mirror that you can't see the road ahead. Think about a time you tried to learn a new trick on a skateboard, or practiced a difficult chord on your guitar. You mess up. It happens. But if you keep replaying that stumble, that missed note, over and over, feeling the embarrassment or frustration, you stop trying. You get stuck in that moment of failure. You miss the chance to try again, get better, feel the joy of finally getting it right. That old mistake becomes bigger than your current ability to learn and grow. It's natural to visit our past, like looking at old photos, but we can't live in those pictures. The sun rises new each morning, bringing fresh moments, smiles, challenges. True strength isn't about forgetting what was, but about truly being here, now. It's about letting the past be a gentle teacher, not a prison guard. Your story is still being written, every single day, and the most important chapter is always the one you are living right now. Worrying about the future too much. Have you ever spent so much time thinking about tomorrow that today felt blurry? Like your mind is a movie projector, constantly showing scary scenes of what could go wrong, instead of the beautiful present. This is one of the mind's trickiest traps, the constant pull towards an unknown future. We plan, we dream, and that's good. But sometimes, our thoughts get stuck on what if. What if I fail that test? What if I don't get into the right high school? What if my friends change? Ancient thinkers, long before our time, saw this pattern. People like the Stoics, who lived in old Greece and Rome, often talked about focusing on what's in front of us. They didn't have cell phones or the internet, but they knew the human mind often wandered too far ahead. They taught that much of our worry comes from trying to control things we simply can't. Here's the thing. No one can truly predict every twist and turn life will take. Don't think of it like this. Imagine you're riding a bike, and instead of looking at the path right ahead, you're always staring at the finish line, miles away. You might miss a small bump, a beautiful flower, or even trip because you're not paying attention to the ground under your wheels. And that's why it matters. Life is happening now in the pedaling, in the wind on your face, in the friends riding beside you. It's like our minds build a huge wall of what-ifs between us and the simple joy of right now. The future will come, whether we worry about it or not. And often, what we fear never even happens. So here's what happened. We lose out on the only moment we truly have. Maybe the secret isn't to stop thinking about the future completely, but to gently remind our minds to come back, to feel the sun, to hear the laughter, to live in the quiet power of today. This can help you feel more grounded, more present, and more alive. Thinking you're a mind reader. Have you ever looked at someone, maybe a friend, and just knew what they were thinking? You see their face, a quiet moment, and suddenly, a whole story forms in your head about what's going on with them. This feeling, this belief that you can peer right into someone else's mind and know their true feelings or intentions, without them saying a single word, is what we call thinking you're a mind reader. But here's the thing. It's a mental trap. Humans have always been curious about what makes other people tick. Way back, even ancient thinkers wondered how we could ever truly understand another person's secret world of thoughts and feelings. They knew it was almost impossible. It's like trying to see the exact color of the wind. We want to connect, and sometimes, this wish to understand so deeply makes us jump to conclusions. We fill in the blanks with our own fears, our own hopes, and our own experiences. Imagine your best friend is quiet during lunch. Your brain quickly starts working. Are they mad at me? Did I say something wrong yesterday? They must think I'm annoying. You spend the rest of the day worrying, maybe even acting distant, all based on a story you made up in your head, not on anything they actually said or did. This can make a small moment into a big misunderstanding. The truth is, no matter how close you are to someone, you can't truly know their inner world unless they choose to share it. Their silence might mean they're tired, or thinking about a video game, or even just enjoying the quiet. It has nothing to do with you, and here's why it matters. When we assume we know, we stop asking, we stop listening, we close off the real path to understanding, which is through open, honest conversation. It's a powerful act to let go. The trap of good enough when you're more. Have you ever turned in homework, knowing in your gut you could have done better? Not because it was bad, but because it was just fine. You got a decent grade, but a quiet feeling told you something was left unsaid. That whisper is often the first sign of the good enough trap. Here's the thing. This trap isn't about being perfect. It's about choosing to stop short of your true potential. It happens when we settle for okay instead of reaching for amazing. Not because we can't, but because it feels easier. We convince ourselves good enough is truly enough, even when a deeper part of us knows it isn't. Ancient Greek thinkers talked about human potential and striving for excellence. Even in daily life, they believed a rich life came from continually trying to become better. For them, good enough wasn't a final goal. It was just a starting point. They valued living a life that honored your own abilities. Imagine building a tower with LED. You could stop when it's just tall enough not to fall over. That's good enough. But what if you have more bricks, and an idea for a cooler, stronger design. If you stop at good enough, you miss the joy of seeing what your full idea could become. You miss the pride of creating something truly special, and that's why it matters. This trap isn't about failing, it's about not fully trying. It can lead to a quiet regret later. When we accept good enough, when we are capable of more, we deny ourselves the chance to learn, grow, and feel truly exploring our own powers. It's a gentle reminder, the greatest gifts we give ourselves are the moments we push a little further, to see what wonders lie beyond what's merely good enough. Making excuses for yourself. Have you ever found yourself saying, "I just can't," before you even really tried? Or maybe, "It's not my fault, because ... double quotes, and then a long list of reasons. This is the tricky mental trap of making excuses for yourself. It's like building a small wall of words to protect us from discomfort, from failure, or from the effort it takes to face something difficult. Here's the thing, our minds are really good at protecting us. Sometimes, this protection means finding an easy way out. Long ago, thinkers like the Roman philosopher Seneca talked about how important it is to take responsibility for our choices. He knew that when we blame others or invent reasons why we can't do something, we give away our power. We stop learning what we're truly capable of. Think about it like this. Imagine you have a big project due, a tough essay you need to write. Instead of starting, you tell yourself, "I'm just not good at writing," or "My brain doesn't work well after school." These aren't always true. Often, they're just ways to avoid the hard work or the fear of getting a bad grade. The excuse feels good for a moment, like a soft blanket, but under that blanket, nothing changes, and the project still waits. This trap keeps us from growing. When we make excuses, we miss out on the chance to push past what feels hard. It's a quiet decision to stay where we are, instead of reaching for something more. To notice this trap is the first step. It lets us choose courage over comfort, and truth over the easy way out. It's about being honest with ourselves, even when it's a little bit scary. The cycle of negative thoughts. Have you ever noticed how some bad feelings just stick around, turning into a loop? It's like your mind finds a path it likes, even if that path leads somewhere dark. This is the cycle of negative thoughts, a tricky pattern our brains can fall into. Here's the thing, one small worry can invite another, and soon, you're caught in a whole swirl of sadness or frustration. Imagine a single drop of dye falling into clear water. It spreads, right? That first negative thought, maybe about something you messed up, can be like that drop. It colors everything else. Then, your mind starts looking for more reasons to feel bad. "I always mess up. This proves I'm not good enough." Everyone sees it. Before you know it, you're not just thinking about one mistake, you're feeling like a total failure. People have thought about this for thousands of years. Ancient philosophers, way back when, saw how our thoughts could trap us. They taught that our inner world, what we think and feel, can shape our whole experience of life. They knew that if you let one worry fester, it wouldn't just stay small. It would grow, feeding on itself, creating a bigger problem inside your head. It's like a tiny snowball rolling down a hill. It gathers more snow, getting bigger and faster until it's huge. Your thoughts can do that too. So, if you get a low score on a test, instead of just thinking, "Okay, I need to study more next time," your mind might start, "I'm so dumb. I'll never understand this. Everyone else gets it. What's wrong with me?" This isn't just one thought. It's a chain, each one pulling the next deeper into that unhappy place. Understanding this cycle doesn't make it disappear instantly. But here's what I found, just by noticing it, by saying, "Hey, my mind is doing that thing again," you create a tiny crack in the loop. It's like shining a small light into a dark room. You start to see the path your thoughts are taking. When your brain tells you lies, have you ever felt completely certain about something, deep down, only to find out later it wasn't quite true? What if the very thoughts inside your head aren't always telling you the full story? Here's the thing, your brain is an amazing, powerful tool. It helps you learn, create, and understand the world. But sometimes, in its effort to make sense of everything quickly, it takes shortcuts. These shortcuts can sometimes build little mental traps. making you believe things that aren't really happening. People have wondered about this for thousands of years. Long ago, thinkers would ask, is what I see truly real, or just how my mind perceives it? They knew our own thoughts could sometimes paint a picture that wasn't exactly the truth. It's not about your brain trying to trick you on purpose. It's just how it's wired to process information. And sometimes those wires get crossed a little. Imagine this. You've decided a certain classmate is really annoying. Maybe they did one thing that bothered you, and now your brain has locked onto that idea. So, every time they speak, your mind might only pick out the parts that confirm your belief. You might not even notice when they say something funny or kind. And because you believe this, you might feel a knot in your stomach every time they open their mouth. Even if they're just asking about homework. Your brain isn't lying to be mean. It's just trying to confirm what it already knows, creating a version of reality that fits your first thought. Understanding this isn't about blaming your brain. It's about realizing you have a choice. When you know your mind can play these tricks, you get to pause. You can ask yourself, is this truly real, or is my brain just telling me a story? That quiet moment of questioning is where real wisdom begins. It's where you start to choose your own path, rather than letting unseen thoughts lead the way. Overthinking simple choices. Have you ever stood in front of your closet, staring at clothes, feeling stuck, or scrolled through a menu, trying to pick one thing, and it feels like the hardest decision ever? That's what we call overthinking simple choices. It's when our minds take something small, something that doesn't really matter, and blow it up into a huge problem. Our brain gets trapped in a loop. We imagine every possible outcome. If I wear this shirt, what will people think? If I order pizza, will I regret not getting pasta? Suddenly, what should take a minute takes 10, then 20. It steals our time and peace. Don't think about the old Greek thinkers. They talked a lot about finding peace and wisdom. For them, a good life wasn't about avoiding mistakes. It was about making choices wisely and moving on. They knew many decisions, especially small ones, don't need endless worry. The act of deciding, not the perfect choice, often matters most. The simple path is sometimes the best. Here's the thing. Imagine building a tower with LED. If you spend forever picking the perfect color for the bottom brick, you'll never build the rest of the tower. You'll just be stuck on that first, tiny decision. The brick's color doesn't change the tower's strength. Our lives are like that tower. We have so much more to build, but we get stuck on the first, small piece. This constant second guessing can make us tired. It can make us doubt ourselves even after we decide. But here's what I found. Most simple choices don't have a wrong answer, just different ones. Choosing something is almost always better than choosing nothing. So, true strength comes from trusting ourselves more with the small stuff. It lets our minds rest and saves energy for bigger adventures. The idea that you're always wrong. Have you ever felt like, no matter what you do or say, it isn't quite right? Like a quiet voice inside whispers your idea isn't good enough, even when others say it is. This is one of those mental traps. The idea that you're always wrong. It's a heavy cloak we sometimes wear, making us doubt every step. Here's the thing. Our minds are powerful, and sometimes they get stuck on a loop. This loop tells us we're flawed, or that we lack understanding. Think about old philosophers, like Socrates. He famously said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." But he meant it as a way to stay curious, to keep learning, not as a reason to put himself down. He was saying there's always more to learn, not, I am always wrong. Our trap twists this, making us believe our instincts and thoughts are always suspect. Imagine you just took a big test. You studied hard and felt good. Later, you get it back, and you scored really well. But instead of feeling proud, that little voice chimes in. You probably just got lucky, it might say. Or, you almost made a huge mistake on question 3. It takes the good news and spins it, making you focus on the smallest imperfection, or something that didn't happen. This can make you overlook your own cleverness and effort. But here's a calm thought. Being human means we make mistakes. That's part of learning and growing. It doesn't mean our entire way of thinking is broken. When that whisper comes, gently ask it, is that really true? Or is it just a familiar story I'm telling myself? Trusting yourself, even a little, is a quiet act of courage. It's okay to be right, and it's okay to learn from being wrong. The trap is believing you can only be the latter. Chasing approval from others. Have you ever done something, or said something, not because you truly wanted to, but because you hoped someone else would like it? Or maybe you picked an outfit, or a movie, just to seem cool to your friends. This deep need to be liked, to be accepted by others, is a powerful mental trap we often build for ourselves. It's like we're always looking over our shoulder, waiting for a nod, a smile, or a thumbs up from someone else to tell us we're okay, that we're enough. People have worried about fitting in for a very long time. Even ancient thinkers, like the Roman philosopher Seneca, understood this problem. He knew that if your happiness depended on what others thought of you, your happiness wasn't really yours. You'd given it away. It's like being a ship without a rudder, letting every wave of opinion push you around. You never really get to decide where you're going or who you are. Imagine you're a chameleon. A chameleon changes its colors to match its surroundings, right? It blends in, tries not to stand out, but we aren't chameleons. We have our own unique colors inside us, our own thoughts, our own true feelings. When we constantly change our colors to match what we think others want to see, we hide who we really are. We become a faded version of our vibrant self, all because we're afraid of what might happen if we just shine our own light. But here's the thing, true belonging isn't found by changing yourself. It's found when you bravely show up as you are, and the right people see you and love you for that. When you chase approval, you're always running, always trying to keep up. When you accept yourself, you can finally stand still, rooted and real. It's a quiet strength. Knowing your worth doesn't come from outside, but from within. That's a freedom worth finding. The heavy weight of expectations. Have you ever felt like you're carrying something invisible, but it still makes your shoulders ache? It's not a backpack, but a feeling. That feeling is often the heavy weight of expectations. It's the idea in your head, or from others, about how things should be, and who you must be. Think about it. Before a big test, you expect to do well. Your parents might expect a certain grade. Your friends might expect you to act a certain way. All these shoulds and musts pile up. They create pressure, like an invisible force pushing down. Long ago, thinkers like the ancient Greek Stoics noticed this. They saw how much unhappiness came from wanting things a certain way, instead of accepting them as they are. They believed we suffer not from events, but from our opinions about them. If you expect perfection and something less happens, that gap feels painful. Here's an example. Imagine you're building a Lego set. You have a perfect picture of the finished model, exactly how the box shows it. You expect every piece to fit, every step to go smoothly. But then, a piece is missing, or two parts just won't click. Suddenly, that expectation makes the whole experience frustrating. It makes you angry or sad, even though building Legos is supposed to be fun. The disappointment comes from the gap between your perfect image and the messy reality. So, here's the thing. A big part of our stress comes from the pictures we hold in our minds. Not just what will happen, but what should happen. Letting go of these rigid ideas, even a little, feels like setting down a very heavy load. It allows things to be simply as they are, and that can bring a surprising kind of peace. Letting doubts hold you back. Have you ever felt that quiet, nervous flutter just before you try something new? That small, unsure voice in your head asking, what if I can't do it? Or, what if I look foolish? That's doubt. It's a very real mental trap, built right inside our own minds, and it often holds us exactly where we are. Here's the thing, our thoughts can trick us. They make us believe these doubts are warnings. Often, they become walls that stop us from trying, exploring, or growing. This struggle isn't new. Even ancient thinkers knew our minds could be our biggest challenge. They understood how inner fears could keep us stuck. This can help you. Think of it as an invisible force, pushing you away from new things. Imagine you want to try out for the school play. You've practiced, feeling ready. But before sign-ups, a thought slips in. What if I mess up? What if everyone laughs? You hesitate. maybe you don't sign up. That doubt wins. It's not the acting itself that's scary. It's the idea of what might happen. That urge to pull back. That's doubt, convincing you that staying safe is better than risking judgment. And that's why it matters. Doubts are just thoughts, not truths. They are like shadows that appear when the light of possibility shines. But the light is still there. If we learn to see these doubts for what they are, mere thoughts, we can choose to walk past them. We can choose to take that step, even with that whisper in our ear. Choosing to move forward, even with a little fear, is how we discover what we are truly capable of. It's how we find our own light. The trap of I can't. Have you ever felt a heavy chain holding you back, even before you tried something new? Maybe it was a tough math problem, learning a new song on guitar, or trying out for a team. That chain, that whisper in your mind saying, I can't, is a powerful mental trap. Here's the thing. Often, I can't isn't about what your body or brain truly cannot do. It's a wall built by your thoughts, sometimes out of fear, sometimes out of habit. It tricks us into giving up before we take the first step. This isn't just about failing. It's about losing the chance to learn or grow. Wise thinkers throughout history, even ancient Greeks, talked about this. They understood that our minds can be our greatest allies or our biggest enemies. They taught that we often limit ourselves more than the world limits us. They believed true strength came from challenging those inner voices that tell us to quit. Think about learning to ride a bike. At first, you might wobble and fall. Your mind might scream, I can't do this. It's too hard. But what if you stopped right then? You would never feel the wind in your hair, the joy of pedaling on your own. Instead, you keep trying, maybe with training wheels. Each small try builds confidence. Slowly, I can't turns into I can, and I will. So, when that feeling whispers, I can't, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this truly impossible, or is it just uncomfortable right now? Remember, the biggest limits aren't always outside us. They are often built inside our own minds, waiting for us to choose to push past them, even just a little. And that's why it matters. You might be stronger, smarter, and more capable than that little voice wants you to believe. Why you avoid trying new things? Have you ever felt that little tug inside, a quiet whisper telling you not to try something new? Maybe it's a new club at school, a different path home, or even just trying a strange food. Often, we listen to that whisper, and we stay right where we are, comfortable and familiar. But why does our mind do this? Why does it push us away from new adventures, even when they could be wonderful? It comes down to how our thoughts protect us. For thousands of years, anything new could be dangerous. Imagine our ancestors, long ago, exploring an unknown forest. A strange sound, an unfamiliar plant. These things could mean real trouble, a threat to survival. So, our brains got very good at being cautious. They learned to prefer what was known, what was safe, because that meant staying alive. This ancient, protective instinct, this caution for the unknown, it's still woven into our minds today. Even when there's no saber-toothed tiger waiting, that old part of our brain still raises an alarm. Think about trying out for a school play. Your mind might quickly paint pictures of messing up your lines, or feeling embarrassed. Or maybe you're asked to give a presentation, and suddenly, all you can imagine is forgetting what to say. It's like your brain becomes a very serious security guard, determined to keep you safe inside your comfort zone. It builds invisible fences with thoughts like, what if I fail? Or, what if people laugh? These thoughts are not facts. They are just your mind trying to stop any possible discomfort or risk. But here's the thing. If we always let those ancient whispers guide us, we might miss out on incredible discoveries about ourselves and the world. That fear is often just a thought, an echo from a very different time, not a true warning of danger now. What if we could recognize that whisper for what it is? Just an old habit of the mind, trying to keep us small. Maybe then, we could gently, curiously, step beyond that fence, and find out what amazing growth waits for us on the other side. Believing you're too different. Have you ever felt like you're on an island, completely separate from everyone else? Like your thoughts, your worries, or even your deepest joys are just too strange, too personal, for anyone else to truly get. This feeling, that you're somehow fundamentally different from every other person on earth, is a powerful mental trap. It whispers that your experiences are too unique to share, and that nobody could ever truly understand what's going on inside your head, and that's why it matters. It makes you pull away, building walls instead of bridges. For centuries, people have grappled with this idea. Even ancient thinkers, looking at the stars, wondered about our place in the world. They saw how different we all seem on the surface, but they also recognized something deeper. They found that basic human emotions, love, fear, sorrow, hope, connect us all. No matter when or where someone lived, they knew the sting of feeling alone, and the warmth of finding a friend. Here's the thing. The idea of universal human experience isn't about erasing what makes you special, but about seeing the common ground beneath it all. Think of it like this. Every single leaf on a tree is unique. No two are exactly alike in shape, color, or the tiny veins running through them. But every leaf is still part of the same tree, drawing nutrients from the same roots, reaching for the same sun. Your differences make you interesting, beautiful, and important, but you are still rooted in the same soil of human experience, sharing the same basic needs for belonging and understanding. This might work for you. Recognizing that shared root can actually make your unique leaf feel less isolated. It's not about losing what makes you, you. Instead, it's about seeing that your individual story, with all its special twists and turns, is part of a much larger, incredibly rich human tapestry. When we believe we're too different, we miss the chance to see how our own unique thread actually weaves into the whole, making it stronger and more beautiful. So, here's what I found. While you are absolutely one of a kind, you are also deeply, wonderfully connected to everyone else. The fear of being judged. Have you ever wanted to say something, or wear something, or even just try something new, but then you paused? A little voice whispered in your ear, what if they laugh? What if they think you're silly? That feeling, that moment of hesitation, is the fear of being judged. It's a quiet trap our minds build. It keeps us wondering if we're good enough, or cool enough, or smart enough in other people's eyes. Here's the thing. This isn't a new feeling. For thousands of years, humans lived in tribes. If your tribe didn't accept you, you were in real danger. So, our brains got really good at noticing what others thought. Being liked was survival, and that's why it matters now. This ancient wiring still makes us sensitive to how we're seen, even though our survival doesn't depend on it in the same way. Imagine you're in art class, and you've drawn something you really love. You think it's awesome, but then, as you go to share it, a thought pops up. What if my friend thinks it's weird? What if the teacher says it's not good enough? So, maybe you hide it, or you change it. This fear makes us hide parts of ourselves, like an actor always playing a role, never showing the real person backstage. It's like having a beautiful butterfly inside you, but keeping it in a jar because you're scared of what people will say if it flies. And here's the problem. When we let that fear take over, we stop trying things. We stop being truly ourselves. We lose out on adventures, on chances to learn, and on the joy of just existing as you are. What if we remembered that everyone carries this little fear in their own way? What if we understood that the truest freedom comes from caring less about external opinions? Getting hooked on what-ifs. Have you ever found your mind caught in a tangle of what-ifs? It's like a whisper that grows, filling your head with worries about things that haven't even happened. What if I fail this test? What if my friend is mad at me? What if I trip when I walk on stage? These questions are like tiny hooks, pulling us from the moment. They make us live in a future that only exists in our thoughts. Here's the thing. Our minds are amazing at imagining, but sometimes that superpower turns into a trap. Long ago, wise thinkers understood this. They saw how much trouble comes from worrying about things we can't control. They felt true peace came from focusing on what's right in front of us. It meant letting go of the endless what-ifs about tomorrow. This idea is very old, but it still feels new every time we get stuck. Imagine you're building a Lego castle, but instead of putting the bricks together, you keep imagining all the ways it could fall apart. What if this piece isn't strong? What if the whole thing tumbles down? You spend so much time worrying about this imagined disaster that you never enjoy building. And that's what ifs do in our lives. We miss the sunlight, the laughter, small victories, all because we're busy rehearsing imagined failures. It's not about ignoring problems, but it is about knowing when our thoughts help us plan and when they just scare us. True freedom often starts when we gently remind ourselves, the only moment we truly have is this one. The what-ifs are just stories our minds tell. We don't have to believe them all. We can choose to just watch them, then come back to the quiet strength of now. The habit of complaining. Have you ever noticed how sometimes we just complain? Not about something truly awful, but almost as a regular hum. It's more than saying you don't like something. It's how our thoughts can get stuck. We might think we're just stating facts, pointing out problems, but here's the thing. Often, our minds create a loop of unhappiness. We focus on what's wrong, what's missing, instead of simply seeing what is. This can become a deep mental trap. Thinkers from long ago, like the Stoics, understood this. They said much of our sadness comes not from what happens, but from how we think about what happens. They saw complaining as a chain, built by our own minds. It's like choosing to only see the dark clouds, even when blue sky tries to shine through. Imagine your mind as a garden. If you constantly water the weeds, those complaining thoughts, the frustrations, they will grow strong and take over. Your beautiful flowers will struggle to bloom. For example, maybe you complain about a tough homework assignment. Instead of just doing the work, your mind might spend hours replaying how unfair it feels. This isn't just sharing a feeling. It becomes a habit that drains your energy. It makes the task feel heavier, like adding extra weight to a backpack you already have to carry. So when we catch ourselves in that cycle, we can pause. We can notice the complaining thought without letting it completely take over. Maybe we can try to see the small good things, or just be quietly present. It's about gently trying to look at things differently. Our thoughts, even the complaining ones, don't have to be in charge of us. We can learn to step away from those self-made cages. Why you talk down to yourself? Have you ever noticed that voice inside your head? The one that sometimes says harsh things about you, maybe after a mistake, or when you feel unsure. This habit of talking down to ourselves is common. This inner critic, it's like a strict coach only pointing out your flaws. It tells you you're not good enough, or smart enough. It can really sting. But here's the thing. This voice often tries to protect you, in a strange way. Think way back to our first ancestors. Their world was full of danger. A mistake could mean real trouble. So, our brains developed a warning system. It learned to spot problems, to warn us. It's a survival tool passed down. Now, instead of warning about a tiger, it warns about messing up a test, or saying something embarrassing. It pushes us to be better by pointing out flaws. It thinks it's helping us avoid pain or failure. Imagine your brain is like a very sensitive smoke detector. It's built to pick up the smallest hint of trouble. Sometimes, it works great, like telling you to study, but other times, it's too sensitive. A small mistake, like burnt toast, makes it scream like the whole house is on fire. That's how it is when we talk down to ourselves. Our inner voice overreacts to small errors, turning them into huge problems. It thinks it's helping you fix every tiny flaw, even when its words sting. So when that voice starts up, remember it's not pure meanness. It's often an old, confused part of your brain trying to keep you safe, but using outdated methods. Understanding this can make a big difference. You can gently remind yourself that while its intention might be okay, its words are too harsh. Being kind to yourself, even when you mess up, is powerful. It helps you see you are more than your mistakes, and gently thinking everyone else has it easy. Have you ever looked at someone else's life and just thought, wow, they've got it all figured out? Maybe you scroll through social media, seeing friends always laughing, always on amazing trips. Or perhaps there's a classmate who seems to ace every test without even trying. It can truly feel like you're the only one who struggles, the only one with doubts or tough days. This feeling, This idea that everyone else floats through life easily while you're paddling hard is a common mental trap. Our minds play tricks on us. We often see only the polished surface, the highlight reel, not the messy, complicated backstory. We forget that everyone faces their own quiet battles, their own fears, and their own moments of doubt. They just don't always show them. People have felt this way for a very long time, not just today. Even ancient thinkers knew how easy it is to look at someone else's success and ignore their hidden pains. They understood that human nature makes us compare ourselves, often unfairly, to what we imagine others have. It's part of being human, but it's also something we can learn to see through. Don't think about an athlete. When they perform, whether on a basketball court or gymnastics mat, they make it look so smooth, so natural. You don't see the early mornings, the missed shots, the muscle aches, the times they wanted to quit. All that struggle, all that grit, happens behind the scenes. What you see is the easy-looking finish. It's the same with people's lives. We often only see their game day performance, not their daily practice. So, the next time that feeling creeps in, the one that says everyone else has it easy, pause. Remember that everyone carries their own load, even if it's invisible to you. Your struggles are real, and so are theirs. Being kind to yourself, and understanding that life has its ups and downs for everyone, can make a big difference. It helps us feel less alone and more connected. The pressure to fit in. Do you ever find yourself looking at what everyone else is doing, and then wonder if you should be doing it too? That quiet whisper in your mind, the one that asks, am I like them? Should I be? This feeling, this deep pull to be accepted, is one of the oldest mental traps we build for ourselves. It's the thought that tells us being different might mean being alone, or worse, being forgotten. For a very long time, belonging to a group wasn't just nice, it was how people survived. Think about early humans, thousands of years ago. Being part of a tribe meant safety, food, and warmth. Being cast out meant danger. So, this desire to fit in is deeply woven into our human story, a kind of echo from a distant past. But here's the thing, what once kept us safe can now become a cage. Imagine you're standing with a group of friends, and everyone is laughing at a joke you don't quite get, or talking excitedly about a show you've never watched. A small part of you might feel a rush of pressure to nod along, to pretend you understand, or even to change your opinions so you sound just like them. It's like a tiny fish trying to swim in a school, changing its direction and speed to match all the others. Even if it feels a different current calling it, you might even find yourself changing how you dress or speak, just to feel like you truly belong. But here's what I found. When we spend too much energy trying to fit a mold that isn't ours, we slowly, quietly, lose a piece of ourselves. The real trap isn't that others won't accept you, but that you might stop accepting the unique person you truly are. There's a gentle strength in standing in your own truth, letting your own light shine, even if it's a little different from everyone else's. That's where true connection starts. Not trusting your own gut. Have you ever had that strange feeling, deep down, that something wasn't quite right, but you ignored it? Maybe your stomach fluttered, or a small voice whispered, don't do it, but you pushed it away. That little nudge, that's your gut. It's that first, quick sense you get about a person, a choice, or a situation, before your brain has time to overthink everything. It's a rapid, automatic judgment your body makes, like a secret alarm system designed just for you. Here's the thing, we often don't trust it. Our minds jump in, full of worries and doubts. We start looking for reasons to second-guess ourselves. We think, am I being silly? Am I wrong? What if I look foolish? This cycle of questioning, while sometimes helpful, can also build a silent trap. It makes us doubt the quiet wisdom already inside us, making us feel lost even when we have an inner guide. Even long ago, thinkers and storytellers from different cultures talked about this inner knowing. They believed there was a part of us that understood things beyond just facts and logic. It was like a hidden compass, always pointing us in a certain direction, even if we couldn't explain exactly why. This isn't magic, but a very fast processing of signals your body and brain pick up from the world around you, even before you're fully aware. Think about a time you met someone new. Maybe your gut gave you a quick, good feeling, or maybe a tiny alarm bell went off. Then, your brain started to analyze. They seem nice. Everyone likes them. I should probably like them too. And you override that first raw feeling, pushing it aside because it doesn't fit the logical picture. But later, sometimes, you realize your gut was right all along. It's like when you're playing a video game and you no a certain path is wrong. But you follow the map anyway, only to hit a dead end. Your inner sense was telling you something important. The trap of quick fixes. Have you ever wished a big problem could just disappear right away, like a magic spell to make a tough assignment finish itself, or a difficult feeling just vanish? Here's the thing, our minds often try to find the fastest, easiest way out of discomfort. We call these quick fixes. They are those tempting solutions that promise a speedy end to trouble, but often don't solve anything deep down. Think about it. For centuries, people have dreamed of simple answers. Alchemists, long ago, hoped to turn cheap metals into gold with one secret formula. They searched for a philosopher's stone to solve all their problems. This isn't so different from us. Even now, looking for the easy button. It's part of being human to want to avoid pain or hard work. But real change, the kind that truly helps, is rarely found on the shortest path. Let's say you have a big test coming up. You could try to cram all night, drinking energy drinks and memorizing facts. That's a quick fix. You might pass, but did you truly learn the material? Did you build a solid understanding that will stay with you? Probably not. The real solution would have been studying a little bit each day, asking questions, letting the ideas sink in. That takes time and effort. So, here's what I found. When we choose the quick fix, we often cheat ourselves out of something important. We miss the chance to really understand the problem, to learn from it, and to grow stronger because of it. It's like patching a tiny hole in a boat with chewing gum instead of fixing it properly. The easy way feels good for a moment, but it usually doesn't last. The true strength comes from doing the harder, slower work. It builds something real, something that holds. Refusing to ask for help. Have you ever felt completely stuck? Like you're carrying a huge, invisible weight, but just couldn't bring yourself to ask for help? It's a strange, lonely feeling, isn't it? This trap isn't about pride or laziness. It's often a quiet voice inside telling us we should handle everything alone. Maybe we worry about looking weak, or bothering others, or even believe no one truly understands. So, we stay silent, pushing harder, even when breaking apart inside. Think about old stories. There's often this idea that being strong means never needing anyone, like the lone hero who battles everything alone. For a long time, showing any need was seen as weakness. But here's the thing, that old idea can trick us. It makes us feel alone when we aren't. This is a mental trap. Imagine you're building a complicated Lego set, 1,000 pieces, and the instructions are messed up. You struggle for hours, your fingers ache, you get frustrated, you might even feel dumb for not figuring it out alone. But what if a friend, who built the same set last year, walks by? One quick, honest question, and they might point out the missing step. Your friend doesn't judge, they just help. That small moment of asking makes the whole thing easier, faster, and way more fun, turning a struggle into shared success. Here's what I found. Asking for help isn't giving up. It's actually a brave choice. It means you understand the limits of one person, and you believe in the power of many. It's about letting light into your struggles and realizing connection makes us much stronger, not weaker. When we reach out, we're not just getting help. We're also building bridges of trust, showing others it's okay for them. Holding on to anger, holding on to anger, Have you ever noticed how sometimes, after an argument or when someone has upset you, that feeling of anger just stays, it lingers? It might feel like a hot energy, telling you were wronged. But here's the thing, sometimes we choose to keep that anger close, like a forgotten item. Long after the moment has passed, we clutch it, maybe because it feels like proving a point or staying strong. Think of it like a tiny, sharp pebble. Most people would flick it away, but holding on to anger is like keeping that pebble, squeezing it, letting it dig deeper. It hurts you, not the pebble. For a long time, wise people have talked about this. Ancient thinkers, like those in Rome, saw anger as a kind of temporary madness. They understood that while it might feel powerful, clinging to it takes away our real power. It clouds judgment and makes us miserable. Here's what I found. Holding on to anger is a mental trap. It tricks us into thinking it protects us, or gives us control. But really, it makes us a prisoner in our own mind. It's like carrying a heavy backpack full of rocks, even after your hike is done. Each rock is a past hurt, a past upset. The person who gave you the rock isn't carrying it. You are. It weighs you down, makes your shoulders ache, and steals your energy. You can't run fast, or jump high, or even just relax. Because of that extra weight, that anger doesn't just disappear. It can simmer, affecting how you see everything. It can make a sunny day feel cloudy, or a kind word sound suspicious. Letting go of anger doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means choosing not to let that heavy feeling control your present. The idea that you deserve bad things. Have you ever felt, deep down, like maybe you weren't quite good enough? Like, if something went wrong, it was almost what you expected, because that's just how things go for you. This feeling, this quiet whisper, is a powerful mental trap. It's the idea that you somehow deserve bad things. That trouble is just your lot in life. It's not about wishing for bad things, but accepting them, even believing you're worthy of them. Your own thoughts build a cage, telling you good fortune isn't for you, and setbacks are what you're owed. This can really hold you back, making you hesitate to reach for better. It might seem strange, but people have struggled with this feeling for a long time. In ancient stories, heroes sometimes suffered because of a fatal flaw, accepting their difficult path. Thinkers long ago wondered why bad things happened to good people. Sometimes, this led to the idea that maybe those people weren't good enough, or brought it on themselves. It's a deep way we try to make sense of the world, but it can turn inward, hurting us. Here's an example. Imagine a science project is due. You've worked hard, but a little voice says, "You're just not good at science. It's probably going to turn out badly." So, when you get a B instead of an A, you don't feel disappointed. You just think, "See, I knew it. I deserved that B." You might not even try as hard next time because you already know the outcome. But here's the thing. That thought didn't make the B happen. It just made you accept it, when maybe you could have learned and done even better. This thought trap tricks us into believing we are less than we are. It tells us to prepare for the worst, sometimes even bringing it closer by making us give up too soon. But here's what I found. You are worthy of good things. Everyone is. Our struggles don't define our worth. Recognizing this trap is the first step. Getting lost in your own world. Have you ever found yourself just gone? Your body might be sitting in a classroom or walking down a familiar street, but your mind is miles away. Maybe you're replaying an embarrassing moment, planning out your next weekend, or just daydreaming about something totally made up. Here's the thing. Sometimes our thoughts can become so loud and clear that they pull us completely away from the real world, almost trapping us inside our own heads. It's like building an invisible bubble around yourself, where only your thoughts exist. For centuries, people have wondered about this strange power of the human mind. Wise people, long ago, spent their lives thinking about how we live. They often talked about how our minds could trick us, making us miss the simple, good things happening right now. They noticed how easily we can get caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. It's a part of being human, this ability to travel through time in our minds, but it also carries a quiet danger. We can get so busy thinking about life that we forget to live it. Think of it like this. Imagine you're walking through a really amazing park, filled with colorful flowers, the sound of birds, and fresh air. But instead of looking around, you're staring intently at your phone, scrolling through social media. Your feet are moving through the beautiful park, but your eyes and mind are somewhere else entirely. You completely miss the bright red rose, the cheerful song of a robin, the feeling of the sun on your face. You were physically present, but mentally, you were lost in a different world, a world of your own making, even if it was just a screen. It's not that thinking or imagining is bad. These are gifts that help us dream, learn, and grow. But the trick, avoiding hard conversations, avoiding hard conversations, have you ever felt a knot in your stomach? Just thinking about talking about something difficult. Maybe you hurt someone's feelings, or someone hurt yours, and the idea of bringing it up feels heavy. So, instead of talking, we walk around the problem, hoping it will disappear. This is a common mental trap. Avoiding hard conversations. We build walls in our minds, not to protect us, but to shield us from temporary discomfort. But here's the thing. Those walls often trap us more than they truly protect. Even ancient thinkers, understood that facing difficult truths was part of being human. They knew the most important talks are often the ones we least want to have. Think of a small crack in a window. Ignoring it won't make it go away. It will likely get bigger, letting in cold air or even breaking the whole window. Our difficult conversations are a bit like those cracks. Let's say you had a big fight with your best friend. Maybe you said something you didn't mean, or they did. For days, you avoid eye contact. You walk a different way home. You text other friends, but not them. Your mind tells you it's easier to just let it go. It'll be awkward if you talk. But inside, that friendship feels broken. You miss them. The silence between you grows, and the problem that felt like a tiny pebble now feels like a boulder. This avoidance, this not talking, becomes the real problem. Not the initial fight. It takes courage, a quiet bravery, to step towards these hard talks. It's not about winning. It's about healing something broken, or understanding something confusing. When we finally face these conversations, even if they feel messy, we often find a path to real peace. It's a way of cleaning out the dusty corners of our minds. The trap of maybe later. Have you ever heard that quiet whisper in your mind, saying, "I'll do it. Maybe later"? It's a gentle thought, almost comforting. It promises you more time, more freedom. But here's the thing, that maybe later can become a powerful trap. It's not a big, scary monster. It's more like a soft, invisible net that catches our good intentions. This idea isn't new. Long ago, even ancient Roman thinkers like Seneca wrote about this. He knew that delaying something important doesn't make it disappear. It just pushes it into a future moment that might never feel quite right. He saw each day as a gift, and putting things off was like throwing a part of that gift away. It's not about being perfect, but about being aware of how our minds trick us. Think about a book you really want to read, or a skill you want to learn, like playing guitar. You buy the book, you get the guitar, and then you tell yourself, "I'll start it maybe later this week." Then it's maybe later this month. Soon, a book sits unread. That guitar gathers dust. The opportunity to learn, to explore, to simply do something you cared about, slips away. The maybe later didn't help you. It simply let time pass without the action you promised yourself. It's like watching a beautiful sunset and thinking, "I'll truly appreciate it maybe later," only to have the sun disappear below the horizon. The moment is gone, so what does this maybe later truly mean for us? It often means maybe never. It's a quiet surrender of today's possibilities to an uncertain tomorrow. Each time we push something important away, we're not just delaying a task, we're delaying a piece of our own life, a chance for growth, a moment of joy. It invites us to think about how precious each moment truly is, and if later is really the best place for the things that matter most to our hearts. Believing you're alone. Have you ever sat in a room, maybe even with friends, but still felt completely by yourself? Like your worries or your quiet joys were entirely your own, and nobody else could possibly get it. This feeling, this belief that you're the only one experiencing something, is one of those mental traps. Our minds can whisper that our struggles are too unique, too strange for anyone else to understand. But here's the thing, humans have been around for a long time. And for all that time, we've shared common fears, common joys, and common heartaches. Think about old stories, myths from ancient cultures. They often show characters feeling lost, misunderstood, or facing tough challenges alone. Even thousands of years ago, people wrote about feelings just like yours. It proves these deep feelings aren't new. They're simply part of being human. Imagine a single tree in a forest, looking all by itself. But underground, its roots stretch out, tangled with countless other trees, sharing nutrients, supporting each other in ways you can't see. Your feelings, even the ones that feel most private, are like those roots. They link you to a vast network of human experience. When you have a really tough day, feeling like you messed up, it might seem like you're the only one, but if you shared, you'd find many others who felt something very similar. So when that quiet voice tells you that you're an island, remember, that's just a thought. It's a trick trying to keep you separate. The truth is, connection is always there. Our shared humanity means we are always part of a bigger story, never truly alone in our deepest feelings. And knowing this can make heavy burdens feel a little lighter. Asterisk. The fear of missing out, FOMO. Have you ever scrolled through your phone, seeing friends laugh together at an event you weren't at, or heard about a great concert you missed, and felt a strange twist inside? That tight feeling, that worry you're missing something fun or important, has a name: the fear of missing out, or FOMO. It's that little voice whispering, everyone else is having a better time. Here's the thing about FOMO: it's not new. Even if the name sounds modern, humans have always needed to belong, to be part of a group. Long ago, missing a group hunt or village gathering could mean real danger. It meant being alone. So, the worry about being left behind became part of us. Today, instead of missing a hunt, it's missing a social media trend or a friend's hangout. The feeling is the same. Just what we might miss has changed. Think of it like this. Imagine you're home, looking out your window. You see kids playing soccer, shouting and laughing. You can almost feel the sun, the rush of the game. A part of you might ache to be out there, even if you plan to read. That ache is FOMO. You see their joy, and you wonder if your choice means you're losing out on asterisk joy. It can make us feel restless, always looking at what someone else is doing. But here's what I found. FOMO often tricks us. What we see online, or what we imagine, is rarely the whole story. Perfect pictures might hide quiet moments. An exciting event might have been boring for some. We always miss out on something because we can only be in one place, doing one thing at a time. And that's okay. Real calm comes when we learn to be fully present where we are, with what we have. It's about finding peace in your own moments, not just comparing. Always needing to be busy, have you ever felt it? That strange pull to always be doing something, anything, even when there's no real reason. Like a quiet moment feels wrong. Our minds can trick us. They make us think being still means being lazy, or that our worth comes from how busy we are. But this constant need to fill every second can actually stop us from knowing ourselves. Think about it. Long, long ago, before phones or the internet, wise people often sought quiet places. They believed that only in stillness could you truly hear your own thoughts. Only there could you feel what was happening inside. They weren't just sitting around. They were searching for deeper meaning, trying to understand the world and their place in it. But today, we seem to run from that quiet. We grab our phones the second a class ends, or turn on the TV just for background noise. Imagine a hamster on its wheel. It runs and runs, but doesn't really go anywhere. Our busy minds can be like that. We scroll through feeds, jump from one task to the next, maybe just fidget with something. We're moving, but are we truly understanding or finding peace? This constant motion can be a way to avoid looking at deeper feelings, uncomfortable questions, or even just being bored for a moment. But here's what I found. Letting yourself just be for a little while, without a screen or a specific goal, can be powerful. It's like clearing out a messy room. Suddenly, there's space to breathe, to think clearly, to truly feel what's there. It's in those quiet moments that new ideas can pop up, or old worries can finally loosen their grip. It's not about not giving yourself a break. Have you ever felt that deep down, you always need to be doing something? Like if you stop, even for a moment, you're falling behind. This constant push, this idea that rest is lazy, is a quiet mental trap. It's the thought that tells us slowing down means weakness. Don't think about it. Our world often celebrates being on all the time. People praise those who work long hours, who never seem to stop. But ancient thinkers knew something important about balance. The Greek philosopher Aristotle talked about moderation in all things. He meant everything, even effort. He knew too much of anything, even working hard, could become harmful. He knew true strength isn't just pushing, but knowing when to pause and gather energy. Here's the thing. Your brain isn't a machine that can run forever without a reset. Imagine your smartphone. If you use it non-stop, running apps, watching videos, never plugging it in, what happens? Eventually, it dies. Your brain works a lot like that. It needs to recharge. When you don't give yourself a break from schoolwork, sports, or even worrying, your mind gets tired. It becomes harder to focus, to think clearly, and to feel happy. So, why do we push ourselves past our limits? Often, it's a thought, I'm not good enough, or I have to earn my rest. But here's the thing. Giving yourself a break isn't a reward you earn. It's a basic need. It's being kind to your own mind and body. When you truly rest, you're not just being nice. You're becoming stronger, more focused, and and ready for what comes next. It's a quiet wisdom, knowing when to simply be. The trap of second guessing. Have you ever made a choice, felt good about it for a moment, and then suddenly, a wave of doubt washed over you? That feeling, that heavy shift, is the trap of second guessing. It's when your mind takes a decision you've already made and pulls it back out, turning it over and over, looking for flaws, wondering if you did the right thing. It's like hitting rewind on your thoughts, not to learn, but to punish yourself for having made a choice at all. This isn't a new problem. Thinkers for centuries, even way back in ancient Greece, saw how easily our minds can get caught in endless loops of indecision. They understood that sometimes the hardest part isn't making a choice, but trusting that choice once it's made. It's a quiet battle, fought inside your own head, where confidence slowly drains away. Imagine you're taking a multiple choice test. You read a question, think about it, and confidently pick answer B. You feel a little surge of accomplishment, but then, you glance at C again. Wait, a whisper in your mind says, what if C is better? Did I miss something? You erase B, circle C. Then you look back at B and wonder if you made a mistake. Asterisk, changing asterisk. This endless back and forth, this erasing and re-erasing, isn't about finding the right answer anymore. It's about the fear of being wrong. It eats up your time and your confidence. Here's the thing, second guessing can steal your peace. It makes you feel unsure, even about small things. It can stop you from moving forward, from taking the next step in life. Sometimes, the bravest thing we can do is trying to please everyone. Have you ever felt like you're constantly trying to make everyone around you happy, even if it means you're not so happy yourself? This feeling, this endless quest to get approval from every single person, is a mental trap. It's a quiet whisper that tells you your worth depends on others' smiles. But here's the thing. People are different. They want different things. What makes one person happy might not please another at all. And if you try to be everything for everyone, you risk becoming nothing for yourself. Long ago, even wise thinkers understood this. There's an old story, often told by the ancient Greek writer Aesop, about a man, his son, and their donkey. As they traveled, different people kept telling them how to ride the donkey. Sometimes both should ride, sometimes only one, sometimes they should walk. Trying to follow every piece of advice, they ended up carrying the poor donkey themselves. And in the end, they pleased no one, and felt silly too. It's a simple tale, but it holds a deep truth. Trying to satisfy everyone leads to confusion and often to failure. Here's an example from daily life. Imagine you're in a group chat with friends, trying to pick a movie to watch. One friend loves action, another wants a comedy, and someone else just wants to stay home. If you try to pick a movie that satisfies every single person's taste, you'll probably end up with no movie at all. Or worse, a movie no one, including you, truly wants to see. It's the idea that change is bad. Have you ever felt a small worry when something new is about to happen? A new school year, a different teacher, or even trying a new food. This feeling is very common. Often, it's not just about the new, but about the comfort of what we already know. Here's the thing. Our minds sometimes trick us. We think staying familiar is always the safest choice. This mental trap makes us see change as a problem, something to avoid. It tells us how things are asterisk right now. Asterisk is ideal. Any shift, it whispers, will only make things worse. We build walls around our routines and habits. Letting them go feels scary, like stepping off a solid path into the unknown. People have wrestled with this for ages. Think about ancient communities. Life was hard. Changing a farming method or trying a new path could mean survival or failure. So, a deep caution against change became a powerful instinct. Even old thinkers saw how humans clung to old ways, even if new ideas were better. This comfort in the known is part of our story. Imagine your favorite pair of shoes, worn in, comfortable, maybe a bit scuffed. You know exactly how they feel. Then, you need new ones. They might look great, but feel stiff at first. You miss the old ones. Our minds react to bigger changes this way. Even if the new situation is truly better, that initial discomfort makes us wish for the old. It's the asterisk process, asterisk of adjusting, that can feel bad, not necessarily the change itself. So, what does this mean? We need to be gentle with ourselves when change arrives. It's okay to feel that fear or sadness for what was, but I found this. Often, after that discomfort, growth waits, new views, new strengths. Maybe the new shoes become your new favorite pair. Embracing the shift helps us find our way forward. We learn to trust that even if the path changes. Getting stuck in your routine. Have you ever found yourself doing the exact same things, day after day, almost without thinking? You wake up, eat the same breakfast, walk the same way to school, sit in the same seat. It's like your life is on a loop. This feeling, this pattern, is one of those mental traps thought can build. Our minds love routine. It's safe, it's predictable, and for a while, that can feel good. But here's the thing, sometimes our thoughts get stuck in a routine too. We think the same thoughts, worry about the same things, or see situations in the exact same way, even when it's not helping us anymore. Ancient thinkers, like a philosopher named Socrates from old Greece, wondered about this. He basically said it's super important to actually think about your life, not just live it on autopilot. He meant we should question why we do what we do, and why we think what we think. Think about a river. When the water flows, it carves a path. Over time, that path gets deeper and wider. It becomes the easiest way for the water to go. Our brains work a lot like that. When we repeat actions or thoughts, our brains create strong, easy pathways. It takes less energy to follow the old path. But what if there's a new, more beautiful path right next to it? What if the old riverbed is drying up, or leading to a dead end? So, while routines can be good, they can also become invisible walls. We might miss new ideas or cool experiences because we're so busy following the familiar. It's not about getting rid of all routines. It's about noticing when a routine, especially a routine of thought, starts to feel less like a comfort and more like a cage. It's about remembering that you have the power to look up, to see a different way, even if it's just for a moment. To gently ask yourself, is this still serving me? Why you push people away? Why do we sometimes push away the very people who care about us? It's a question that feels a little heavy, doesn't it? Here's the thing. Often it's not because we don't like them. It's a trick our own thoughts play. Our mind builds walls, brick by invisible brick, out of fear. Fear of getting hurt, of being misunderstood, of not being good enough. These thoughts whisper, stay safe. Don't let anyone get too close. For thousands of years, people have grappled with this. Ancient philosophers, watching human behavior closely, noticed how our inner world, our thoughts and feelings, often creates our outer reality. They saw how easily our minds could become a fortress, designed to keep danger out, but also keeping real connection locked away. It's a natural, almost automatic response built into us, a mental trap we fall into without even knowing it. Think about a tiny snail. When it feels threatened, what does it do? It pulls itself deep inside its shell. That shell is its protection. We do something similar with our emotions. Maybe you tried sharing a secret once, and someone laughed. So, now, your thoughts tell you, keep secrets to yourself. People can't be trusted. And so, you pull back. You put up that emotional shell. You might miss out on a wonderful friendship because your mind, trying to keep you safe from one past moment, is stopping you from reaching out now. And that's why it matters. These walls, built by protective thoughts, can leave us feeling alone, even when surrounded by others. The quiet truth is that true strength often lies not in building higher walls, but in finding the courage to lower them, even just a little. When we recognize these thought traps, we can start to see the choice we have, to stay hidden, or to The trap of holding grudges. Have you ever had someone say something that just stuck with you, like a tiny, sharp splinter? Even after time passes, that feeling of anger or hurt stays right there, under your skin. This is what we call holding a grudge. It's when we choose to keep resentment alive inside us, like tending a small bitter flame, long after the moment has passed. This flame doesn't warm us, it just burns us. Think about it like this. Imagine you're trying to run a race, but you're carrying a heavy, jagged rock. You picked it up because someone bumped into you at the start. You think it will get back at them, but they're running their own race, maybe not even noticing you. And you're stuck with this heavy weight, slowing yourself down, getting tired. The rock hurts only you, For thousands of years, people have talked about this burden. Ancient thinkers, wise elders from many cultures, all saw how much pain anger causes and how bitterness needs us to feed it. And when we do, it hurts us more than anyone else. It clouds our own joy, makes our world feel smaller and colder. Here's the thing, it's like having a broken pipe that keeps dripping. You can put a bucket under it, but the drip never stops. The bucket just gets heavier. That drip is the grudge, and the weight in the bucket is the emotional toll it takes. That anger uses up your energy and focus. So, here's what happens when we refuse to let go. We become prisoners of our own past hurts. Our thoughts get stuck, replaying old arguments. We think we're punishing someone, but we're just trapping ourselves. We hold the key to our own freedom. Letting go isn't about saying what someone did was okay. It's about deciding your peace and lightness matter more than the heavy burden of anger. It's about choosing quiet freedom by walking away from that endless drip. Thinking your problems are unique. Have you ever felt truly alone with a problem? Like nobody else in the entire world could possibly understand what you're going through. Maybe a friendship feels broken, or you're struggling with something at home, or even just feeling unsure about who you are. That heavy feeling, that deep loneliness, it's a mental trap. It makes us believe our troubles are so special, so different, that no one has ever walked this exact path before. But here's the thing, what you feel, what you worry about, the deep questions that keep you up at night, chances are, someone else has felt them too. For thousands of years, people have written about this. Ancient thinkers, like those in Greece or China, would observe how humans reacted to loss, to fear, to joy. They saw patterns. They understood that even though each person's life story is unique, the big feelings and big struggles often echo through time, connecting us all. Think of it this way. Imagine you're about to give a presentation in class. Your stomach might flutter, your palms might sweat, your voice might feel shaky. It feels huge, right? Like no one else understands this specific, awful feeling you have. But I bet almost everyone in that room has felt that exact same kind of nervousness, maybe for a different presentation, or a tryout, or a performance. The details change, but the feeling itself is a shared experience, and that's why this idea matters. Realizing your problems aren't entirely unique doesn't make them smaller. It doesn't mean your feelings don't count, but it does mean you're not isolated. It means there's a connection, an invisible thread reaching out from you to countless others who have felt something similar. It brings a quiet comfort, knowing that in our deepest worries, we are actually part of a much bigger human story, and we are never truly alone. Believing you don't have a choice. Have you ever felt truly stuck, like a river flowing in only one direction, and you're just a leaf caught in its current? That feeling, that heavy weight, is often a mental trap called believing you don't have a choice. Here's the thing, sometimes our minds tell us there's only one way forward. Maybe it's a path we don't want, or a situation that feels impossible to change. We feel trapped, as if our hands are tied. But often, this feeling isn't the whole truth. It's just a thought, a story our brain is telling itself. People have thought about this for ages. Long ago, philosophers in ancient Greece wondered if we truly have free will, or if everything is decided for us. They asked, are we choosing, or just following a script? The big idea, even if we can't control what happens to us, we almost always have a choice in how we respond. This tiny space between what happens and how we react is where our real power lies. Don't think about a boring assignment at school. You might think, I have to do this, and it will be terrible. That's feeling like you don't have a choice. But here's what might work for you. You choose how you do it. Break it into small parts. Listen to music, or see it as a chance to learn patience. The assignment is still there, but your experience changes because you found a small choice. Our minds can build walls that aren't really there. They make us see only one door when there might be many. Recognizing this trap means understanding that even in the toughest moments, a sliver of choice often remains. It might not be a huge, dramatic choice, but a quiet one, a choice about your attitude, your focus, or how you move forward. And that small choice, that tiny spark of freedom, can light up a very different path. The fear of speaking up. Have you ever had a brilliant idea bubble up inside you? A thought so clear, so important, but then it just stayed there, trapped behind your lips. It's a strange kind of cage, built not by physical bars, but by our own fears. We worry about sounding silly, about being wrong, about what others might think of us. This feeling, this stopping yourself, is one of the quietest mental traps we build. It's the fear of speaking up, and it often keeps our truest selves hidden. Here's the thing, this isn't just shyness, it's a deep-seated worry that our voice isn't good enough, or that our thoughts aren't worth sharing. Even way back, thinkers like the ancient Greeks knew that sharing ideas was how we grew smarter, together. They believed that honest questions and brave thoughts were like keys to understanding the world. They talked about the importance of discussion, of putting your ideas out there to be heard and tested. Imagine all the wisdom that would have been lost if no one ever dared to speak their mind. Think about it like this. Your ideas are like a hidden stream bubbling up from deep underground. It wants to flow, to join the bigger river, to eventually reach the wide ocean. But sometimes, a dam of doubt builds up inside you, holding all that precious water back. The stream wants to flow, to carve new paths, but it's stuck. And that dam is made of thoughts, like what if they laugh? Or my idea isn't good enough. It's a silent battle you fight within yourself, but every voice carries a unique tune, a piece of the puzzle no one else has. When you hold back, the world misses out on that part. It's a quiet bravery, choosing to let your voice be heard, even if it shakes a little. The sound of your own truth is powerful, not just for you, but for everyone around you, because truly, the quietest voice can sometimes make the biggest ripple, and that's why it matters. Always expecting the worst. Have you ever felt that? Not in your stomach, a kind of nervous hum. Maybe you're waiting for test results, or for a friend to text you back. Before you even know what's happening, does your mind rush to the worst possible outcome? I definitely failed. They're mad at me. That feeling is a mental trap we call always expecting the worst. It's like your brain has a special alarm, always set to emergency, even when there's no real fire. Our thoughts can get stuck in this loop, jumping to the saddest or scariest possible future. People have thought about this for a very long time. Ancient thinkers knew life could be hard. They talked about preparing for tough times, but there's a big difference between being ready for something bad and living as if that bad thing is already happening every single day. Here's the thing, imagining the worst can feel like a way to protect yourself. Like, if you expect the worst, you won't be as surprised, but often, it makes us suffer twice. We suffer in our minds before anything even happens, and then again if it actually does. Imagine you have a big presentation. Instead of focusing on notes, your brain keeps playing scenes of you messing up or forgetting words. Even if the presentation goes great, you've already spent hours feeling awful just because of your thoughts. And that's why it matters. This constant looking for trouble, this mental habit of predicting gloom, can steal our peace. It makes the present moment feel heavy, even when it shouldn't. It's a heavy backpack of worries we carry. Often, the worst thing we expect never even happens. Maybe the real challenge isn't stopping bad things, but learning to gently quiet the mind that always expects them. The loop of why me. Have you ever felt like the universe had a personal vendetta against you? Like when something bad happens, your first thought is, of course, it's me again. This question, why me, can become a tricky loop our minds get caught in. It's a mental trap. It makes us feel singled out when things go wrong, even if similar things happen to everyone. Don't think about it. Maybe you trip and fall. Then later, you spill your drink. And then, you missed your bus. Suddenly, your brain connects these things. It whispers, see, it's always you. Why does this stuff only happen to me? This isn't just a new idea. Humans have asked similar questions for thousands of years. Ancient thinkers, like the Stoics, noticed how easily our minds can focus on unfairness, They wondered what we could control and what we couldn't. Here's the thing. Our brains are really good at finding patterns. If we keep asking why me, our brain starts looking for more evidence. It's like a song on repeat. When a scientist has an experiment, they don't just see one mistake and quit. They check the soil, the water, the light. They understand that sometimes things just happen. It's not personal. This loop can make us feel isolated and a little helpless. But here's what I found. Just noticing you're asking why me is a powerful first step. It helps you gently untangle your mind from that repeating thought. You can then ask, what asterisk can asterisk I do now? Or what can I learn? It's not about ignoring your feelings. It's about slowly shifting from feeling like a victim to finding a path forward. It's a quiet way to find peace, even when life feels unfair. Not celebrating your small wins. Have you ever finished something difficult, something you worked really hard on, and then just moved on, like you crossed the finish line of a small race, but you didn't even pause to catch your breath or feel the victory? It's a strange habit our minds often fall into. We tell ourselves, this isn't the big win yet, this isn't important enough to celebrate. So, we quickly dismiss the small successes, the daily victories, the tiny steps forward. We keep our eyes fixed only on the huge far-off goal, believing that real happiness or satisfaction will only come when we reach that asterisk distant peak. Here's the thing. By doing this, we rob ourselves of so much joy and strength along the way. Think about the wisdom of ancient thinkers, people who thought deeply about life and happiness. Many of them knew that true contentment isn't just about reaching a final destination. It's found in the journey itself, in the moments we live through. They might say, the path is made of footsteps, and each step is worth noticing. If we only ever look at the mountain peak, we miss all the beautiful views and quiet strengths gained during the climb. Imagine you're learning to play a musical instrument, like the guitar. When you first pick it up, it sounds terrible, but then, you practice. One day, you manage to play a single chord cleanly. It's not a whole song, not a concert, but it's a small win, a big step. If you don't celebrate that one clean chord, that small moment of progress, you might get discouraged. You might think, well, I still can't play a song, so it doesn't count. But each perfect chord, each practiced scale, builds up. These are the tiny victories that create the big skill. They make you want to keep going. So, when we ignore these small triumphs, our journey becomes harder. It feels endless, like a long, dark tunnel without any lights. But recognizing and appreciating the trap of waiting for permission. Have you ever felt like you're standing at the edge of something new, a great idea or a small step you want to take, but you just stop? It's like an invisible wall is there. You pause, your mind waiting for a sign, for someone to tell you it's okay to start, or that your idea is good enough. This is the trap of waiting for permission. It's a quiet mental trick where we convince ourselves we need an all clear from outside ourselves before we can truly begin. Here's the thing. Often, no one is actually holding us back. It's a feeling planted by our own thoughts, a deep-seated idea that we aren't quite ready, or that someone else knows better. Think about it. For a long time in history, people were told what to do, what to believe, and when to act. Kings, queens, village elders, their permission was truly needed. But now, in many parts of our lives, that need for external approval has become an old habit of the mind. Imagine you want to start a small garden in your backyard, maybe just a few sunflowers. You could wait for your parents to suggest it, or for a gardening class to pop up, or for someone to tell you exactly how to do it. But what if you just bought the seeds? What if you picked a spot, learned a bit online, and put them in the ground? The biggest hurdle isn't the soil or the sun. It's often the thought that you shouldn't start until someone else gives the nod. This can help you see it differently. Sometimes, the most powerful permission we need is the one we give ourselves. It's the quiet decision to move forward, even when you feel a bit uncertain. Because every moment spent waiting for someone else to open a door is a moment you could have been building your own. And that's why it matters. Trusting your own spark, your own gentle push to begin, can be the bravest thing you do. Believing you're not strong enough. Have you ever felt like a mountain was too tall to climb, or a task too big to even start, long before you took the first step? That quiet whisper in your mind, telling you you're not strong enough, is one of the oldest mental traps we face. It tells you your limits are fixed, like a wall that can't be moved, and it feels heavy, doesn't it? Like a weight on your shoulders that makes every challenge seem harder than it really is. For thousands of years, people have wrestled with this exact feeling. Ancient thinkers, like the Roman philosopher Seneca, understood that our minds often create our biggest cages. He believed that much of what we fear, or what we believe we can't do, is really just a thought that grows too big. We suffer more in imagination than in reality, he said. Here's the thing. He saw that our true mental strength is often tested not by the world outside, but by the doubts we carry inside ourselves. This might work for you. Think about a time you tried to learn something new, maybe a tough math problem or a new skill, like playing an instrument. At first, it felt impossible. Your brain might have screamed, "I can't do this." But then, you tried. You practiced. You made mistakes. You solved one part, and then another. Just like a small stream can carve a deep canyon over countless years, or a tiny, determined seed can push its way through hard concrete to reach the sunlight, our inner strength grows with each attempt, even the ones that don't go perfectly. The truth is, your strength isn't just about big muscles or loud words. This can help you. It's in your quiet persistence, in that tiny spark that makes you try again. It's in choosing to take one more step, even when that whisper tells you not to. Remember that the feeling of not why you keep replaying bad moments. Have you ever felt it? That annoying movie in your head, playing the same bad scene over and over. Maybe it was something embarrassing you said, a mistake you made in a game, or a moment that just felt wrong. You tried to push it away, but there it is, on repeat, a stubborn echo. So, why does our brain do this to us? Why do we keep replaying those moments that sting? Here's the thing. Your mind is always trying to learn. It's like a super smart detective, constantly looking for clues. When something goes wrong or hurts, your brain sees it as a puzzle it needs to solve. It replays the moment, not to torture you, but to figure out what happened. It's asking, what went wrong? How can we prevent this next time? It wants to understand, to protect you. But sometimes, this dedicated detective gets stuck, spinning its wheels on the same case long after it's closed. Ancient thinkers noticed this human tendency to. They understood that our minds often cling to these difficult memories, trying to change the past by revisiting it. It's part of our deep human need to make sense of the world, to feel control, even when that's just a painful echo. They saw it as our mind trying to grab onto a finished story, hoping for a different ending. Think about trying to fix a broken toy. You might go over the steps again and again, even frustrated, wanting to understand where you went wrong. Your brain does something similar with bad moments. It keeps pressing rewind, hoping to find the answer or make it less hurtful. It's a natural, if sometimes frustrating, part of being human, this desire to understand and protect. So, when those difficult moments pop up and start their familiar replay, remember your brain is just trying its best to look out for you. It's not trying to be mean. It's trying to learn, to keep you safe. And while it's okay to acknowledge those feelings, you don't have to stay stuck in that endless replay loop. You can gently remind yourself that the learning has happened. The past is truly past. The idea that you can't say no. Have you ever felt a heavy tug inside, a quiet pressure, when someone asks you for something? It's that moment where your mind screams no, but your mouth says yes. This feeling, this strange trap, is the idea that you can't say no. It's not a real chain. It's a thought, a deeply set habit, that tells us we must always agree, always help, always please. We worry about hurting feelings, about seeming mean, or about letting someone down. For a long time, humans have needed to belong. Our ancestors lived in groups. Keeping peace and not causing trouble was often key to staying safe. If you said no too much, you might be seen as difficult. So, this need to be liked, to fit in, can make saying no feel dangerous. Even when it isn't, it's an old echo, still whispering in our modern lives. Here's an example. Imagine a friend asks you to join their study group. You're already swamped with homework, feeling tired, and really need that evening to yourself. But instead of explaining, you hear yourself say, "Sure, I'll be there." Later, you feel stressed and regretful. Your yes to your friend was actually a no to your own peace. It's like we agree that other people's needs always come first, even when ours are just as important. But here's the thing. True kindness starts with being kind to yourself. Saying no isn't about being mean. It's about being honest, about drawing a gentle line to protect your energy and time. It's about understanding that your no to one thing lets you say a more real yes to something else, something that truly matters to you. Overthinking every tiny detail. Have you ever felt caught, stuck on one small thing, unable to move on? Like choosing the perfect emoji for a text, or wondering if you used the right word in an email. This feeling, this stopping point, is a mental trap we call overthinking every tiny detail. It's when our mind grabs onto something really small and won't let go, examining it from every angle, even when there's no real need. Here's the thing. Our brains are amazing. They want to solve problems, to make sure everything is just right. But sometimes, this helpful instinct gets a little carried away. Imagine a scientist from long ago, like the Greek philosopher Zeno. He had these tricky ideas about motion, suggesting that to get from one place to another, you first had to go halfway, and then halfway again, and so on, forever. His point was that you'd never actually get anywhere if you focused too much on these endless tiny steps. It's a bit like that with overthinking. We break down a simple choice into so many tiny pieces. We forget the main goal. Think about writing a paragraph for an English assignment. You might spend ages on just one sentence. You change a word, then change it back. You worry about if it sounds smart enough, or if it flows perfectly. You reread it 20 times. And that's why it matters. You're stuck on that one tiny detail, and the rest of the paper isn't getting written. The goal isn't just one perfect sentence. It's the whole paragraph. The trap of thinking you're the only one. Have you ever felt a sharp, lonely ache in your chest, convinced that no one else in the world could possibly understand what you're going through? This feeling, this quiet certainty that your struggle is unique, is a powerful mental trap. It makes us believe that our particular heartbreak, our fear of failing, or our awkwardness belongs only to us, a heavy secret burden no one else could possibly carry. But here's the thing. For thousands of years, people have written poems, songs, and stories about feeling exactly this way. Ancient thinkers, long before us, understood that certain feelings, fears, and hopes are just part of simply being human. They knew that joy and sorrow, confusion and excitement are threads woven through almost everyone's life, even if the details change. These deep, shared emotions are actually what connect us. Think about a time you felt incredibly embarrassed. Maybe you tripped in the hallway, or said something you instantly regretted in front of your whole class. Your cheeks burned, your stomach dropped, and you probably wished you could just disappear. In that moment, it's easy to think you're the only person who has ever felt that specific kind of terrible shame. But here's what happened. Almost everyone has a story like that. Maybe not the exact same moment, but the feeling of wanting to hide. The rush of heat to your face, that's incredibly common. It's like a universal feeling we all experience. The truth is, many of our deepest emotions, our biggest worries, and even our secret joys, are like echoes across time and different lives. When we fall into the trap of thinking we're the only one, it's easy to feel utterly alone. But knowing that others have walked similar paths, felt similar pains, or dreamed, getting scared to ask questions. Have you ever sat in class, a question in your mind, but stayed silent? That knot in your stomach, the voice whispering, what if it's a silly question, or everyone else seems to get it? This quiet fear is a mental trap many of us fall into. It's the thought that stops us from simply asking. We worry about how we'll look, if our question will sound dumb, or if we're the only one who doesn't understand. But here's the thing. Often, those unspoken questions are the very ones that could help us learn the most. Socrates, long ago, was known for always asking questions. He didn't just accept what others said. He dug deeper. He believed that asking tough questions, even if it made people uncomfortable, was the best way to find truth and wisdom. Many big discoveries, in science or how we understand things, started because someone dared to ask why, or what if, when others were quiet. Imagine you're building a big Lego set. The instructions are a bit confusing, and you're stuck on step 3. You could just guess, force pieces together, and hope it works. But that often leads to a wobbly, wrong creation. Or, you could simply ask someone who knows, or reread that part. Even if you feel a little silly asking for help, the moment you ask, confusion often clears, and the building becomes fun again. Not asking means you build on a wobbly base of misunderstanding. So the next time that little voice tries to silence your question, remember its power. Asking isn't a sign of not knowing, it's a sign of wanting to know more. It's how we stretch our minds and truly understand the world around us. It's a brave act, letting your curiosity lead the way, even when it feels a little scary. And that's how we grow. Always thinking about what's next. Have you ever found yourself in the middle of something good, maybe laughing with friends, or eating your favorite meal, but a part of your mind is already jumping ahead? It's wondering about tomorrow's homework, or the big test next week, or even what you'll do after this school year ends. This constant looking forward, this always thinking about what's next, is a mental trap many of us fall into. Here's the thing, our brains are built to plan. It's how humans survived, by thinking about winter food or how to build better shelters. But over time, this helpful tool turned into a habit that can steal our peace. Ancient thinkers, like the Stoics in old Greece, talked a lot about living in the present moment. They understood that spending all your energy on what hasn't happened yet can make you miss the life that's unfolding right now. They believed true calm came from focusing on what you can control, which is often just this very moment. Think about a soccer game. If a player is constantly worrying about the final score or the next game, they might miss a key pass happening right in front of them. They might mess up a shot because their mind is already on the celebration or the loss, instead of the ball and the goal. The game happens one play at a time, and life works a lot like that too. Each moment is its own play. When we always push our happiness to later, after the test, after graduation, after we get that thing we want, we build a wall between ourselves and today's small joys. It makes us feel like we're always chasing something just out of reach. So, what if we tried, just for a little while, to let that future-thinking mind quiet down? What if we allowed ourselves to fully feel the sun on our skin, the sound of a friend's voice, or the taste of our dinner? There's a deep kind of quiet strength that comes from being fully here, right now, letting life simply be. The habit of doubting yourself. Have you ever felt that quiet whisper inside, telling you you're not quite good enough? Or maybe it's a louder voice, making you question every choice, every answer, every idea you have. This isn't about being careful or thinking things through. This is the habit of doubting yourself, and it's a powerful mental trap built inside our heads. Here's how it works. It's when your mind turns against you, making you feel less capable than you truly are. It makes you hesitate, even when you know the answer. It holds you back from raising your hand, from trying something new, from being fully yourself. It's like carrying an invisible backpack full of heavy stones, making every step harder. Think about thinkers from a long time ago, like the ancient Greek philosophers. They understood how tricky our minds could be. They talked about knowing yourself, not just your name or what you like, but truly understanding your inner world. They knew that sometimes our biggest challenge comes from within. It's a very old problem, this inner critic. Humans have wrestled with it for centuries. Imagine you've been practicing a song on your instrument for weeks. You know the notes, your fingers move easily, but then, right before you play for your family or friends, a thought pops up. What if I mess up? What if it sounds terrible? That thought isn't about your skill, it's about the doubt. And sometimes, that doubt makes your hands shake, or your mind go blank, even though you practiced so much. It's like your brain is trying to protect you from failure by making you fail first. But here's the thing about this habit. It's just a habit, a pattern of thinking. It's not the truth about who you are. We can learn to notice that voice, that feeling. We can choose not to let it take over. This can help you. Understanding this trap is the first step. It reminds us that our true strength isn't found in always being perfect. Why? You don't give yourself credit. Have you ever done something really well, a difficult task, but then found yourself barely acknowledging it? Like, you finish a big project, and instead of feeling proud, your mind immediately jumps to the tiny mistake you made, or how it could have been even better. Here's the thing. It's a very human experience, a mental trap we often build for ourselves without even realizing it. For a long time, thinkers have noticed this about us. Ancient philosophers, way back when, saw how we tend to dwell on what's wrong or missing. It's like our brains are wired with a kind of internal alarm system. This system is great for keeping us safe, making us spot danger or problems, but that same spotlight often shines brighter on our flaws than on our triumphs. Our ancestors needed to be aware of threats, so, focusing on what asterisk could asterisk go wrong, or what asterisk WASN, single quotes to asterisk perfect, became a deeply ingrained way of thinking. Think about this. Imagine you're in class, and you get a test back. You scored a 95%, which is great, but instead of letting that good feeling sink in, you keep staring at the 5 points you missed. You might even feel mad at yourself for not getting a perfect score. That's your brain focusing on the gap, not the achievement. It's not that you're ungrateful, it's just how our minds often work, always pushing for more, searching for the next improvement, and that's why understanding this matters. We often look for perfection, not just progress. But here's the problem. When you only focus on what you haven't done, or could have done better, you miss the quiet joy of your efforts. You deny yourself the chance to feel good about the steps you have taken, big or small. Giving yourself credit isn't about being arrogant. It's about acknowledging your journey, honoring your heart. The trap of needing to control everything. Have you ever felt like you just had to make everything go a certain way? Like if you didn't plan every step, or make sure everyone did exactly what you wanted, it would all fall apart. Here's the thing. Our minds sometimes build a cage for us, a trap made of control. It's the belief that if we push hard enough, worry enough, we can steer every outcome, manage every person, fix every problem. This thought makes us feel like we're in charge, but often, it just makes us tired and frustrated. We get stuck trying to hold on to things that are naturally loose, like water in our hands. For ages, people have wrestled with this. Ancient thinkers pondered how much power we truly have. They noticed a common human struggle, the desire for certainty in a world that is always changing. It's like we want to write the whole script for life, but life has its own story it wants to tell, full of surprises. We try our best, but we also learn to acknowledge the bigger flow. Imagine you're building a sandcastle on the beach. You pick a perfect spot, dig carefully. You might even try to stop every little wave, but no matter how hard, the ocean is going to do what it does. A bigger wave comes, and your masterpiece shifts. That's a bit like life. You can build your plans, but there are always currents and tides beyond your direct command. Trying to stop every wave will just make you tired, and you'll miss the ocean's beauty. So, what if we could learn? Believing everyone is out to get you. Have you ever had that feeling, deep down, that people are always against you? Like, no matter what, someone's trying to mess things up for you, on purpose. This isn't just a bad mood. Here's the thing. It's a mental trap, a sneaky thought pattern. It makes your mind paint everyone else as a threat, even when they're not. It builds walls around your heart that keep others out. Think about it. Our brains are really old. Way back, when humans lived in caves, it was super important to be careful. Any rustle in the bushes could be a tiger or a rival tribe. So, our brains got really good at spotting danger. That helped us survive. But now, in our modern world, that same old wiring can sometimes trick us. Instead of a tiger, our brain sees a classmate who didn't say hello as someone who secretly hates us, or a teacher's firm tone as a personal attack. This idea isn't new. People have thought about this for ages. Ancient thinkers knew our own fears could make us see enemies where there were none. They talked about how our inner world can make us build walls against others, even when no one is attacking. Here's an example. Imagine you text a friend, but they don't reply for hours. Your mind might instantly jump to, they're ignoring me, they're mad, everyone in our group is talking about me now. You might feel a twist in your stomach, but maybe, just maybe, your friend is simply busy. Maybe they're helping their little sister or doing chores. When we believe everyone is out to get us, we jump to the worst conclusion. We build a story in our head where we are the target. This trap keeps us from connecting with people. It makes us feel lonely, even the fear of being different. Have you ever felt that strange pull, that quiet whisper telling you to just blend in? Maybe you've held back a thought, or changed your opinion, just because you worried it wasn't what everyone else was thinking. This feeling, this deep, sometimes hidden worry, is what we call the fear of being different. It's the thought that if you stand out, if you don't match the group, something bad might happen. Maybe you'll be judged, or laughed at, or even left out. For a very long time, fitting in was actually a matter of survival. Think way back to our ancestors. If you were part of a tribe, you were safe. You had food, shelter, and protection. If you were too different, If you broke the rules, you might be cast out. And being alone in the wild was incredibly dangerous. So, this old, ancient worry about being rejected, about not being part of the group, still lives inside us today. It's a feeling that our brains still remember, even if the danger isn't the same. Here's an example you might know. Imagine you're at school, and everyone is talking about a new movie or a popular song. You might actually not like it that much, or maybe you haven't even seen it, but there's a small pressure to agree, to pretend you like it, or at least not say anything against it. You might nod along, even when inside, you feel a little bit like you're faking it. That's the fear of being different at work. It stops you from sharing your true thoughts, from being truly you, because you want to be accepted. But here's the thing about thoughts. They aren't always right. This fear, while old, can keep us from discovering incredible parts of ourselves. When we push past that worry, when we choose to share our unique ideas or pursue our own passions, we don't just find our true selves. We also add something special to the world. Imagine a world where everyone was exactly the same. How boring would that be? Our differences. When our dreams come true, have you ever thought about how strange it is when something you've wished for, dreamed about, and even prayed for, actually happens? We spend so much time building up perfect pictures in our heads. We imagine the exact feeling, the big moment, the overwhelming joy. But then, the day arrives, and here's the thing. It often feels ... different. Not bad, just not quite the sparkling, flawless image we created. This isn't about our dreams being wrong. It's about how our minds work. We're good at imagining things as perfect, without rough edges. For centuries, thinkers have noticed this. They saw how humans chase an ideal, a perfect state, for endless happiness. But real life is always a mix. Think about getting that video game console you've wanted forever. You drew pictures, watched reviews, imagined playing new games. Then, you unwrap it. It's amazing. But maybe you get frustrated by a level, or your friend can't play, or batteries run out. It's still awesome, but it's also just ... real. It has its own ups and downs. That small gap between the dream in your head and the actual experience. That's where things get interesting. Ancient thinkers explored how having a fixed idea of happiness can stop us from truly enjoying what's real. When a dream arrives, we might be too focused on comparing it to our mental picture to see the beauty in its imperfections. So, maybe the real gift isn't just the dream coming true. Maybe it's also learning to love the reality of it. Accepting that even the best things are a little bit messy and wonderfully human. It reminds us that magic isn't only in the faraway dream, but also right here, in the unfolding, imperfect present. The source of all energy. Have you ever stopped to think about where everything truly comes from? Not just your breakfast or the tree outside, but the energy that makes all of it possible. It's a question people have asked forever. They looked up at the stars, felt the sun's warmth, and wondered, what was the very first spark? What is the original power, the start of everything? Many cultures, across history, felt this deep mystery. They sensed there had to be a beginning, a first cause for everything we see and feel. For some, this source was a single, powerful being who spoke the world into existence. For others, it was an older, mysterious force, like a silent hum that started the universe. It's this idea of an ultimate starting point, the raw energy that started life in motion. It's the grand, quiet force behind every breath, every heartbeat, every galaxy spinning in the dark. Think of it like a giant, invisible battery that never runs out. It's not just about electricity, it's about existence. Imagine you're drawing a picture. Where does the picture come from? Your imagination, right? But where does your imagination come from? This source of all energy is like the very first thought or idea that led to everything else. It's the first domino in an endless chain, the one that, when pushed, started everything else. And so, thinking about such a source fills us with a quiet wonder. It makes us feel connected to something much, much bigger than ourselves. It suggests that all life, all movement, all thought, shares a single, magnificent origin. It's a thought that wraps the universe in a sense of purpose, even if that purpose remains a beautiful, endless question. Why you hide your true self? Have you ever felt like there's a secret part of you, a real you, that you keep hidden away? Why do we sometimes put on a different face for the world, even when it feels heavy? It's a feeling many of us know, this quiet act of holding back our truest self. We do it to fit in, to protect ourselves, or simply because we worry about what others might think if they saw all our edges and shadows. The thing is, this idea isn't new. For thousands of years, thinkers have wondered about the face we show versus the person we truly are inside. Ancient Greek philosophers, like Plato, talked about how people might live in a cave, only seeing shadows of reality. In a way, hiding our true self is like living in our own small cave, only showing others the safe, approved shadows of who we are, instead of the full, bright light. It's a very human thing, born from a deep desire to belong and be safe. Think about a chameleon changing its skin color. It doesn't do it to trick anyone, but to blend in, to stay safe from danger, or to catch its food. For us, hiding our true self works a bit like that. Maybe you act tougher around certain friends so they don't see your softer side, or you might pretend to understand a joke you don't get, just to be part of the laughter. We adapt our color to match our surroundings, hoping to avoid judgment or pain. We want to be accepted, and sometimes we believe showing our whole self is a risk we can't take. But here's the thing, always hiding can feel lonely, like being a quiet star in a night sky, holding back your own light. It makes it hard for others to really see and love the unique person you are. There's a quiet strength in slowly, gently, showing more of yourself. To truly connect, we must eventually let a little bit of our real light shine through, even if it feels a little scary at first. The idea that happiness is far away. Have you ever told yourself, I'll finally be happy when ... Maybe it's when summer break starts, or when I get that new video game, or when this big project is done. We often believe happiness is a far-off prize, waiting for us. Asterisk after asterisk, something specific happens. It's like we put it on a shelf, way in the distance, telling ourselves we can only reach it later. This is one of those quiet mental traps our thoughts build for us. People have thought about this for a long time. Ancient thinkers didn't always see happiness as a finish line. They suggested it was more like a journey, or a way of looking at things right now. They believed finding peace and joy was about how you lived each day, not just what you achieved in the future. It was about appreciating small moments around you. Instead of constantly waiting for the big moment, think about waiting for something special, like a birthday party. You spent days imagining how great it would be. You thought, once that day comes, I'll be so happy. And sure, the party was fun. But what happened the next day? Did all that happiness just vanish? The truth is, happiness isn't just one big event. It's often found in smaller pieces of your day. A good laugh with a friend, a song you love, or a quiet moment enjoying sunshine. So, here's the thing, when we always push happiness into the future, we miss chances for it right now. It's like staring at a distant mountain peak, hoping for the view, while forgetting the beautiful flowers right at your feet. Maybe happiness isn't way out there at all. Maybe it's a feeling we can choose to notice. Believing you're stuck forever. Have you ever felt like you're in a tough spot, and it just won't end? Like a bad mood that hangs around, or a problem at school that seems impossible to solve. It's a heavy feeling, isn't it? This idea, this belief that things will stay exactly the same, is one of the biggest mental traps our thoughts can build for us. We tell ourselves, this is just how it is, or I'm stuck here forever. But here's the thing, that stuck feeling often isn't a solid wall. It's more like a sticky idea in our heads. Thinkers from long ago, like the ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus, understood this. He once said you can never step into the same river twice. And what he meant was, everything is always in motion. The water flows, the riverbed changes, and so do we. Our lives, our feelings, and our situations are just like that river, always moving, always changing, even when we don't feel it. Take, for example, a time you really struggled with a new skill, like learning to ride a bike or trying a complicated video game level. At first, it might have felt impossible. You fell, you failed, and maybe you thought, I'll never get this. But then, with practice, tiny shifts happened. You learned, you adapted, and suddenly, you weren't stuck anymore. The forever feeling was just a moment. So, when that heavy thought tries to convince you that nothing will ever change, remember the river. Remember that life is always flowing, always moving forward. We are not fixed statues. We are part of that constant movement. And sometimes, the biggest step we can take is simply to notice that the idea of being stuck is just a thought. And thoughts, like everything else, can change. The trap of wishing for easy answers. Have you ever felt a deep ache inside, a longing for things to just be simple? Like when a tough question comes up in class, or a complicated problem with a friend, and you just wish there was a magic button, one clear answer that fixes everything. This feeling, this wish for an easy way out, it's a mental trap. Here's the thing. Our minds often crave comfort. We want to avoid the misances, the uncertainty that comes with real understanding. But life rarely hands out simple, single answers. When we desperately search for them, we often miss the deeper truths hiding in the layers of complexity. We stop exploring. We stop truly thinking. Think back to the ancient Greek thinkers, like Socrates. He wasn't about giving quick answers. Instead, he would ask question after question, making people dig deeper, to realize how much they didn't, single quotes know. It was unsettling for some, but it pushed others to find richer, more honest understanding. He knew that the journey of questioning was often more important than the destination of a single answer. And here's a relatable example. Imagine you're trying to figure out a tough science experiment. You just want the teacher to tell you the right formula, the perfect steps. But what if you take the time to mess up, to try different things, to observe closely? You might get frustrated, sure, but by truly engaging with the process, by not wishing for a simple cheat sheet, you understand why things work the way they do. You learn to problem solve, not just memorize. This can help you in so many ways later on. It's tempting to want all the answers handed to us, neatly packaged. But sometimes, the greatest wisdom, the truest growth, comes from bravely sitting with the unknown. It comes from accepting that some beautiful things, some important lessons, are found not in the quick fix. Not letting yourself feel sad. Have you ever felt a wave of sadness coming and tried to push it away? Maybe you told yourself, don't be sad, or tried to distract yourself completely. Here's the thing. Trying to stop yourself from feeling sad is a common mental trap. We often think that if we let sadness in, it will swallow us whole or make us look weak. But what if fighting it actually makes it stronger? Long ago, thinkers knew that all emotions, even tough ones, have a purpose. Sadness, for example, often tells us that something important has been lost or hurt. It's like a messenger knocking on your door, carrying a message about what truly matters. If you refuse to open the door, the message doesn't go away. It just keeps knocking, maybe louder. In today's world, we often hear messages about always being happy, about good vibes only. And that's okay to want to be happy. But sometimes, this idea makes us feel bad for feeling anything else. It makes us think sadness is a problem to be fixed, instead of a feeling to be felt. Think about a cut on your skin. If you keep picking at it, or hide it away from the air, it takes much longer to heal. It might even get worse. But if you clean it gently, let it breathe, and give it time, it heals. Sadness is a lot like that cut. When something tough happens, like maybe you didn't get picked for a team, or a friend moves away, it hurts. That hurt needs a little space to be felt. If you stuff that feeling down, it doesn't disappear. It stays inside, maybe bubbling up later as grumpy feelings or quiet anger. So, here's what happens. When you allow yourself to feel sad, really feel it for a bit. It's like letting the cut breathe. You might cry, or just feel quiet, and that's okay. It's a part of the habit of over-apologizing. Have you ever noticed how often we say sorry? Sometimes it just slips out, like sorry, can I just get past you? Or sorry, I think I asked for the red shirt. It's almost like a reflex, a little verbal tick. This is a mental trap called the habit of over. It's when you say sorry for things that aren't really your fault, or for simply existing and taking up a little space. Here's the thing. Often we do it because we want to be polite. We don't want to bother anyone. But sometimes, it comes from a deeper place. A quiet feeling that maybe we're a nuisance, or that our needs aren't quite as important. It's like we're constantly trying to shrink ourselves, to make our presence smaller. Ancient thinkers, like the Stoics in old Greece and Rome, often talked about They believed it was important to know your own worth, not in a boastful way, but in a quiet, confident way. They'd say you don't need to apologize for being yourself, for having needs, or for simply being present. And Confucius, a wise man from ancient China, taught about respect and manners, but also about not losing your own dignity. It's about finding that balance. Think of it like this. Imagine you have a very special I'm sorry button. If you push that button for every tiny thing, for bumping into a door, for breathing too loud, for needing to ask a question, the button loses its power. A real apology is meant for when you've genuinely made a mistake, when you've truly hurt someone or messed something up. When you save that button for those important moments, it means something deep. So, here's what it comes down to. Your presence doesn't need a constant apology. Your voice matters. Your space matters. Learning when to truly say I'm sorry and when to simply stand confidently can help you feel stronger inside. Why you keep reaching for perfection? Have you ever wondered why we keep trying so hard for something that feels just out of reach? This isn't just a random feeling. It's almost like a deep, quiet yearning inside us, a mental trap built from a longing for things to be flawless. We reach for perfection because it feels safe, like if we could just get everything just right, we wouldn't have to worry about judgment or failure. We imagine a world where mistakes don't happen, where every step is perfectly placed. This pull isn't new. For thousands of years, people have felt this desire. Ancient Greek thinkers, like Plato, believed there were perfect forms, a perfect idea of beauty, a perfect circle, a perfect horse that existed in another realm. Our world, they thought, was just a reflection, an echo of those flawless originals. So, the urge to make things perfect, to find that ideal, has been part of being human for a very long time. It's a deep-rooted wish for ultimate order, ultimate rightness in a messy world. Here's the thing. Think about when you're drawing a picture for school. You have an image in your mind, a perfect idea of how it should look. But when your hand moves the pencil, it might not be exactly like that. You see every tiny smudge, every line that isn't quite straight, and sometimes you might even want to crumple the paper because it's not perfect. It's like we're constantly comparing what we do to an invisible, ideal drawing that only exists in our minds, a standard no one could truly meet. But the longing for something more. Have you ever looked up at the night sky, or perhaps just sat quietly and felt a tiny tug inside you, a feeling that there's something more out there, or something more *to life than what you see every day? This isn't a problem or a weakness. Here's the thing. It's a deep, quiet hunger that many people feel. It's a longing for meaning, for purpose, for something grander than just going through the motions. It's like a quiet ache for a story you haven't quite heard yet, but know is waiting. For thousands of years, humans have felt this pull. It's a feeling woven into our history. Ancient people looked at the changing seasons, the endless stars, the overwhelming power of a storm, and wondered. They didn't just see rain falling. They saw a force, a spirit, or maybe even a god speaking to them. They imagined worlds beyond their own because their hearts told them there had to be more. Wise thinkers across time have talked about this divine discontent, this sense that we're made for something bigger than just our everyday lives. It's like our souls have a memory of something extraordinary. Even if we can't quite grasp what that something is, think about finishing a really great book or watching an amazing movie. You close the cover or the credits roll, and for a moment, you feel a little empty. You miss the characters, the world, the story. You wish it wasn't over, or you wish you could step into that world and stay there. That feeling, that quiet ache for more, for that story to continue, or for you to be part of it, is a small taste of this larger longing. It's not just about the story, it's about the feeling it stirred in you, the sense of wonder or connection to something beyond your usual life. So here's what I found. This longing isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. Instead, it's a sign that you're wonderfully, completely human. It means your heart is open to wonder, to big questions, to the mysteries of the universe that surround us. It's a gentle reminder that we are all seekers, always looking for pieces of a larger puzzle, always hoping for a glimpse of something truly profound. This quiet ache isn't a burden. It's a kind of inner compass, softly pointing us towards discovery, towards understanding, and towards the many beautiful, complex ideas that help us make sense of our world. It's the quiet voice inside that says, keep looking, keep wondering, there is more to discover. Our place in the big picture. Have you ever looked up at the night sky, really looked, and felt tiny, like a single grain of sand on an endless beach? That feeling of being small, yet part of something huge, is what we call our place in the big picture. It's about trying to understand where we fit in the whole universe, and in time itself. For thousands of years, people have stared at the stars and asked, why are we here? Ancient cultures built entire stories, even religions, around these questions. They tried to give meaning to what seemed too big to grasp, searching for patterns and purpose in the vastness beyond them. Think about how early humans wondered about the sun, the moon, and the changing seasons. They didn't have science like we do, so they made up stories. These stories helped them feel connected, like they belonged. It's kind of like being a single, important piece in a giant puzzle. You might feel small on your own, but the picture isn't whole without you. Here's the thing, your part, no matter how small it feels, truly matters to the whole picture. We might not have all the answers. No one does, really, but asking these big questions, wondering about our place, that's what makes us human. It means we care, and that longing to understand, that search for connection, that's a powerful and beautiful thing. It reminds us that even when we feel lost, we are part of a grand, unfolding story. And our story, your story, adds to the wonder of it all.